It's the only show in town, and it's a beautiful day to have a great day here from Stony Brook Elementary. Didn't look like it would be just a few hours ago, but Mother Nature cooperating with the only Cape Cod Baseball League game tonight. It's the Orleans Firebirds and the Brewster Whitecaps right here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Ian Nicholas joined alongside Dylan Pescatore. You'll hear from the third member of our crew, Sammy Miller, in just a few moments. Dylan, tough loss for Orleans last night on the road against the best team in the West in Cotuit. The offense not up to snuff once again.
No, not up to snuff, but I'll tell you this. That schedule that had Orleans playing YD, which was leading the East at the time and still does, with 19 points. And then you have to go back-to-back and face off with Cotuit, both at their ballparks on the road. The Firebirds pulled out a gritty 5-4 win against YD. Then you have to go to Cotuit and face their best pitcher, the league's best pitcher in Cam Hill, who continued his incredible success to start this season, continuing with 4 perfect innings yesterday against Orleans. But, Ian, even with 4 perfect innings against the best team in the West, this team was still right there, tied at 0-0 going into the 7th inning, and had every chance to win the game. So, yes, a bad loss. Yes, a loss that you don't want to really remember and kind of flush away, wipe away. But through 6 innings, the Firebirds were right there.
Right there, but just not close enough to knocking off Cotuit. Orleans 6-8 on the year as we are here on Scorching Start from Stony Brook Field. Beautiful 73-degree evening. Only CCBL game, and you're listening to it right now on the Birds Broadcast Network. Dylan, the offense, not a great performance yesterday against the Kettleers. Also the bullpen. You talked about great pitching early on. Dylan Jacobs with 5 shutout. Jonathan Gonzalez, he provided a shutout for him as well out of a bullpen, but 7, 8, 9, when those innings came along, bullpen showed some cracks in the armor.
Yeah, and it goes back to that YD game where manager Kelly Nicholson was mix and matching with lefty and righty matchups, ended up using 6 guys out of the bullpen, so it kind of leaves you stranded in terms of how many options you have. They had to go with Cam Leiter, Nate Ward, and Eric Orloff, who didn't have their best stuff last night. Leiter, who came in the 7th of a 0-0 game, he struck out the first batter, but then a single, a walk. It was bases loaded with 1 out very quickly, and that was the end of the day for Cam Leiter. Nate Ward had to come into a tough position with bases loaded, 1 out, and hit a grand slam.
And that ultimately did Orleans in. Little fight at the end of the game, but the bullpen, which has been fantastic all season, was banged up a little bit last night against Cotuit. The starting pitching, though, has been fantastic, and one of the great starting pitchers on this roster, Chad Gartland, making his 2nd start of the summer. Sammy, you caught up with him before the game, right?
Yes, I did, Ian, and he might just be one of the most humble guys on the team. Even through his 5-inning shutout against Brewster last week, he was still giving props to the defense behind him and expressed how lucky he is to have such strong defensive players that will make critical plays to keep them out of any trouble. He also noted how throughout the past few weeks, all of the guys have gotten so much closer, which helps him out even more on the mound since he knows the communication will be there when he needs to make defensive plays as well. It's so important to have a leader starting things on the mound for any team to really set the tone, and Chad Gartland represents this perfectly. Guys, back to you.
Dylan, what are you most looking forward to seeing from Chad Gartland? Sammy's mentioning the guy is super humble. It's hard to stay humble when you're so good. I mean, the reigning A-10 pitcher of the year at George Mason, the last time out against Brewster from this very field just under a week ago, the guy was dominant.
Yes, and I expect even more. I asked him today, what's your goal today, Chad? And he said throw strikes and truly do exactly what he did last time, which was throw fastballs and throw them for strikes, but also mix and match. The slider, the forkball, and the splitter. If they're getting swings and misses, if they're getting chases from the Whitecaps, then they'll be in a good spot. And also, 0 walks on the year for Gartland still through 6 innings. So if he can continue that, no free passes, Gartland's going to be in a good spot.
Hopefully Gartland in a good spot tonight, just over 10 minutes away from first pitch from Stony Brook Field between the Firebirds and the Whitecaps here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Scorching Start brought to you by Siemens Bank. Dylan, somebody who we already talked about up and down offense, but somebody who was able to break out for the first time this season yesterday in the loss to the Kettleers, Eddie King. Multiple hits, multiple stolen bags. Looked a lot like the player we expected after a really great sophomore season with the Cards.
Yeah, Eddie King, who broke up, of course, the perfect game. It was a perfect game through 5 for Katuitt. He led off the 6th with a single and a stolen base. Didn't get around to scoring. However, he did score in the 8th inning. And Eddie King, who continues to get better and better. He had good contact yesterday, and it's just a matter of time. I mean, we've seen it this season, Ian, with some guys transitioning and getting better very quickly after their college season, and then it takes some time for others. And Ian caught up with Eddie King earlier today.
Back on the scorching start, Ian Nicholas joined by Louisville outfielder Eddie King. Eddie, big day for you yesterday, albeit in a loss. Your first multi-hit game as a Firebird. What was working for you?
Just being on the fastball, seeing the ball really, really well, just things working out for me. I even got 2 stolen bases yesterday, huh?
Yeah, I mean, look, you had over 30 last year in the Prospect League. It was your first actual stolen base on the year.
Right.
But how valuable is your speed right there on the base pass, just to tormenting pitchers and defenses in general?
My speed is definitely valuable. Coaches, if you can run, coaches love it. So getting the extra base, I even scored just getting the second. Owen hit a single. I was in score position, so scored pretty easily.
How big a game is that for you? Because obviously you belong here, but it was a bit of a tough start to the year for you from the plate. How big is that game just for you moving forward?
That game was huge. I needed that badly, super badly. It felt great.
Felt great. Today you guys play Brewster. Their starter, Patrick Forbes, somebody you know well, old two-way at Louisville. Can you give us a little bit of an inside scoop on what he can do?
Forbes is special. He's a two-way guy. He can hit. He can throw the ball really hard. So he's going to be a key player for us next year.
How cool is it to see a couple of your guys out here just doing their thing, whether it's here in Orleans or just across the league?
It's pretty cool, just the atmosphere and all, just a really good competition, seeing everyone compete. It's really cool.
And then overall, offensively for this group, you guys dominated against Brewster last week. Last few games, bit up and down performances offensively. What do you think you guys need to get back to the most from the plate?
Definitely being on the fastball, just hitting the fastballs and, adjusting to the all-speed pitches. But we can't be in between. We have to, get one pitch and stick with that.
If you get a hit today off Patrick, is that bragging rights?
I guess so, but I'm not the type to brag.
All right, first player of the year for Orleans, not one to brag. Eddie King Jr. joining us on the Scorching Start. Thanks so much, Eddie.
All right, thank you.
Back here on Scorching Start, the pregame show. That was Ian Nicholas with outfielder for the Firebirds, Eddie King, who had 2 hits yesterday, along with a couple of stolen bags as he looks to continue to get hot tonight. He's in the 6th spot for the Firebirds as we go over their lineup. They're 6-8 on the year, looking for their 7th win and getting back to 1 game below 500. Joe Oyama leads off once again at second base. Andy Blake moved up to the 2nd spot. He's never been this high in the order. He will start at shortstop and bat second. Eddie Micheletti back in the 3-hole playing left. Matt Hall back at DH tonight, wearing number 31. He hit a double in the 9th inning of last night's game. Jack Penny bats 5th. Eddie King Jr. playing center, bats 6th. Owen Carpellotti, the catcher tonight, bats 7th. Jake Hyde plays 1st, bats 8th. And Jake Casey rounds out the order, playing right.
And Chad Gartland getting his start. Sammy already talked about him earlier on in Scorching Start. 2 appearances, 1 start, 6 innings pitched. He has allowed 7 hits, but only given up 1 earned run with 7 strikeouts and 0 walks for the Rochester, New York native. Meanwhile, we flip the book and look at the lineup for Jamie Shevchek and Brewster tonight. Leading off is the second baseman, Davis Diaz. Batting second is Will Turner, the center fielder. Batting third, Brock Tibbetts, the catcher. Batting cleanup, Trevor Warner at third base. Batting fifth, James Tibbs, the left fielder. Batting sixth, Ike Irish, the first baseman. Batting seventh, Jaime Ferrer, the right fielder. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, Vince Cimini. And rounding out the order for the Whitecaps tonight, who sit at 6-7-2 with the 3rd best record in the East Division, is the shortstop, Peyton Green. On the mound is the Louisville man, Patrick Forbes. Forbes, though, expected only to go a few innings. It's a bullpen day today for Jamie Shevchek's crew, coming off a loss to Wareham on the road last night. Orleans also, Dylan, encountered a bit of a bullpen day yesterday. At least it was expected heading in from Cam Hill, and Katuitt didn't necessarily end that way.
No, they only had to use 3 pitchers with Hill and Schlesinger throwing 5 perfect innings at the time, and it didn't turn into a bullpen game. So, yes, you're going to think that Forbes has only gone 2 innings max this season, but if things are working, Jamie Shevchuk with a bullpen that really hasn't worked out too well for him so far this year will keep him in. But we have to go to break for the national anthem, and we'll be right back here on Scorching Start.
Number 7, Jaime Ferrer. Orleans and a junior at Rivier University.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave.
Margaret Dixon. Very well done.
Rain? What rain? It's a beautiful afternoon from Stony Brook Elementary. Thanks so much for joining us. The only Cape Cod Baseball League game today is between a couple East Division foes in Brewster and Orleans. Orleans trying to bounce back from a loss last night to Katuitt. Wrapping up shop on Scorching Start, the pregame show here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Want to thank our pregame sponsor, Siemens Bank. As Cape Cod's first community bank, Siemens Bank is proud to support the Firebirds and a special place they hold in the hearts of the Orleans community. Siemens Bank provides our local businesses, families, friends, and nonprofit organizations with the products and services they need with the local and personal service they deserve. Please stop by any of their branches or go to siemensbank.com and see what they can do for you. Siemens Bank, member FDIC, Member DIF. Let's go through the defensive alignment for the Brewster Whitecaps. On the mound, making his first start of the summer and a bit of a bullpen day, is the righty rising sophomore from Louisville, Patrick Forbes. Behind Vidish is Brock Tibbetts. At first, Ike Irish. At second, Davis Diaz. At third, Trevor Werner. At short, Trevor Green. James Tibbs, Will Turner, and Jaime Ferrer make up the outfield left to right for the Whitecaps, wearing their white pinstripe jerseys with navy blue lettering, and Dylan some awesome teal hats with navy brim. Some clean uniforms for a team that trying to bounce back after a tough road loss yesterday at Wareham.
I'll give you a pun. With some clean uniforms, trying to play some cleaner defense than they played last week against the Firebirds. But yes, the hats kind of give me Florida Marlins vibes here, or maybe a spring training hat, but Florida Marlins is what I've decided on.
An interesting pun. It makes sense. Good uniforms for both teams. Joe Oyama, the 5'7", 170-pound rising senior from UC Irvine, the lefty, leads off against variety Forbes. First pitch swinging through the middle of the infield, base hit. That's how you set the tone after just 2 runs yesterday against Katuitt. A leadoff first pitch single for Joe Oyama in the top of the first from Stony Brook.
Soner is ready to play, and Oyama takes the first pitch. Textbook, right back up the middle where it came from.
Batting second for Orleans for his first time this season, Andy Blake, the right-handed shortstop, faces the right-handed Patrick Forbes, making his first start of the summer. He deals a strike on the inner half. 0-1. The home plate umpire, Darren Tyson at first base, Jeff Merzel at third, Brian DeBroer. 1 on, nobody out. Scoreless game, top 1. Joe Oyama, leadoff single. Forbes, a pickoff attempt. Oyama slides in head first safely.
Forbes with 3 2/3 innings of work so far this year. Only 3 hits allowed, 1 walk, 5 Ks, no runs.
Last pitched in the 13-2 win for Orleans from Eldridge on Thursday, and pitched 1 2/3 scoreless. Blake fouls back the 0-1 into the backstop, now 0-2. Forbes, a two-way star at Louisville, just finished up his freshman season. He's also appeared in 7 games as a position player in the outfield for Jamie Shevchek's crew this summer. And the 6'3", 200-pound 18-year-old has hit .261 on the young season with 4 runs batted in. No balls, 2 strikes to Blake, but before that pitch comes in, another pickoff attempt. Oyama, another head-first slide to first base. 3 stolen bags on the summer for the native of Japan. He takes his lead. 1 on, nobody out. Top 1, scoreless game. Another pickoff attempt, the 4th in the direction of Oyama, who's still sliding in head first, dusting everything off. Oyama wearing the long sleeves. Orleans in their red camo vest once again tonight. White pants and black helmets. No balls, 2 strikes. Forbes deals to Blake and misses low and away. 1-2 to the New Jersey native.
Only 9 more pickoff attempts until you can reach Andrew Schaffner's record of 11 against Austin Overin, which took place right here last time we were here at Stony Brook.
That was unreal. And again, that Orleans won just under a week ago today, 4-2. The 1-2 to Blake, in for strike 3 looking. 3rd strikeout for Patrick Forbes in now 2 innings pitched against Orleans this summer. 1 away in the top of the first with 1 on. Still scoreless. And here's the lefty left fielder, Eddie Micheletti Jr. to the plate. Oyama still on first after his first pitch leadoff single. And once again a pickoff attempt. Snagged by Ike Irish, the freshman All-American at Auburn, holding Oyama on near the first base bag.
Micheletti with an RBI single in that 8th inning.
Another pickoff attempt, and Oyama is thrown out. Checking in on him numerous times was Patrick Forbes. A head-first slide from Oyama, not in time to get back to the bag. Ike Irish applies for tag, and Oyama heads back to the dugout. Bases clear, 2 out. Scoreless top 1. Forbes deals to Micheletti. A strike. 0-1.
And I know you're trying to take a good lead so you can get a good jump, but those are some things that really can't happen, and anyone on the Firebirds coaching staff would tell you it's a no-no in baseball, of course, to get picked off. Oyama knows better, and he just got caught, flat-footed over at first.
That's the 4th time Oyama's been caught stealing. Well, technically 3 caught stealing attempts this summer for Oyama, and that's not going to count towards that. As a swing and a miss, Micheletti goes down on 3 pitches, and that's the end of the inning. What a great start. Oyama swinging on the first pitch, reached on a single. Then a successful pickoff attempt from Patrick Forbes. He gets out of the inning with excellent pitching to Andy Blake and Eddie Micheletti. Still scoreless as we go to the bottom of the 1st on the Birds Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 1st on the Birds Broadcast Network. A scoreless game despite a leadoff single from Joe Oyama in the top of the inning. Chad Gartland, the rising senior from George Mason, makes his 2nd start of the summer, trying to keep it scoreless. And Dylan, his last time out against Brewster just about a week ago, was dominant.
Yes, he was. It was all about no walks, getting swing and misses. 4 strikeouts for Chad. He was getting the fastball over for strikes. And when he can control the fastball, keep it up in the zone, keep it to the outside to righties, inside to lefties, that's when he's at his best. And then he drops the hammer. And by hammer, I mean the splitter and the forkball. 2 pitches that go in a downward motion along with the slider, a 4-pitch mix for Chad.
Gartland pitched 5 scoreless innings and got the win in Orleans' 4-2 W right here from Stony Brook Field on the 21st. Allowed 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, no walks. Rest of the defense for Orleans includes Owen Carpellotti behind Vidish, Jake Hyde at first, Oyama at 2nd, Jack Penny at 3rd, Blake at short, Micheletti in left, Eddie King Jr. in center, and Jake Casey in right. Leading off for Brewster is the 2nd-year Whitecap, a Vanderbilt star, 2nd baseman Davis Diaz. He'll bat righty against the righty Gartland.
Seen a lot of Vandy guys in the last few days on each team.
R.J. Austin for the YD Red Sox led off on Sunday, and now it's another Vandy kid who laces a ball foul to left on the first pitch he swings at. 0-1. He leads off for Brewster here today.
Garland was getting a lot of cold strikes with his fastball. It's because he put the splitter and the forkball in the mound of the hitters.
Swinging again, chopped to short. Andy Blake backhands it, throws it across the diamond, and Jake Hyde gets it at first, and Diaz down on a ground out and down on just 2 pitches.
What are with these Vandy guys and swinging early in the count? R.J. Austin was swinging first pitch, and Diaz he was swinging first pitch, but he hit it foul. Andy Blake with a really good play. Backhand, and had to make a strong throw over to get the speedy Diaz.
Now it's the lefty center fielder, Will Turner from South Alabama. He gets ahead 1-0. Bases empty, 1 out. Scoreless game, bottom 1. Gartland misses low. 2 balls, no strikes. Turner with the red elbow pad and the red shin guard on his lower right leg. The 2-0 pitch from Gartland, swung on, tipped back, 2-1.
Look at those cleats. Is that gold?
I just think it's dirt that's accumulated over time, and maybe is just glistening a bit in the sun. The 2-1 pitch, taken for strike 2, and an even count as Gartland works quickly. Bases clear, 1 out. 2-2 on the way home. On the outer half to the lefty, it's ball 3, full count.
Tried for the backdoor slider. Couldn't come back just enough.
Gartland, the payoff pitch. It's fouled over the backstop. But to the 6'1", 196-pound rising junior from Auburn, Alabama. Gartland sets and fires in another full count pitch, which is launched over to Jake Hyde at first, feels it at his waist, runs towards the first base bag for the putout. two away. Couple ground outs from Davis, Diaz, and Will Turner to start the day for Jamie Shevchek's offense.
Hyde with a great play. It was laced on one hop, and he stayed in front of it. Got his glove up right near his waist and makes the play. Great defense is what the Firebirds have shown in the last 2 to 3 games, and it's brought them a lot of wins because when they're putting the ball in play, the opposing squad isn't making the greatest of plays, and the Firebirds are taking advantage of it.
The 1-0 pitch from Gartland to Brock Tibbetts is launched into right center field. Eddie King ranging towards his left. Meanwhile, Jay Casey diving towards his right doesn't make the catch. And Tibbetts stands up and reaches second. Both Eddie King and Jay Casey, the center fielder and right fielder respectively, went for the ball. Casey dove to his right, lost his hat in the process, couldn't make the play. And that's a 2-out double for Brock Tibbetts, who came into the game 8th in the league in batting average. And for the Indiana man, it only goes up.
He is a pure hitter if you've ever seen one. A big righty, goes to the opposite field. Good effort by Casey to try to steal an out for his pitcher. And now first man in scoring position for Brewster.
1 on, 2 out. Tibbetts off second. Scoreless game, bottom 1. Gartland now faces Trevor Werner. The righty third baseman takes a first pitch strike. 0-1 of a 6'3", 225-pound rising senior out of Texas A&M.
Jamie Shevchek likes the tall and got a little weight on these guys. Tibbetts and now Werner. Big dudes.
He is a big fan of Werner, a second-year Whitecap. Takes the 0-1 pitch for a ball in the outside corner, 1-1.
They also have a guy on their roster who's 6'6", 250, Ivan Brethauer. Not playing tonight, and he's on the bench. But he's got comparisons to Aaron Judge, another former Brewster Whitecap.
Those are some pretty lofty expectations to fill. 1 on, 2 out. Gartland's 1-1. High in the zone. Swung at and fouled to the backstop. 1-2. As Werner readjusts his helmet and his batting glove and gets back in the right-handed batter's box. 5 for 19 on the summer with 9 runs driven in. Werner has been one of the hottest from the plate for this Brewster team. 1 on, 2 out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gartland's pitch bounces in front of home plate and is blocked up by Carpellotti, who scares Tibbetts back to the second base bag. A great defensive play from Carp. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's all about fundamentals when blocking a ball as a catcher. Gets in front of it. He almost points his chest down toward the ground. He wants the ball to go down and stay there rather than roll away. He does just that, and Tibbetts has to stay at second.
Gartland sets, gets the sign from Carpellotti. Tibbetts off second, 2-2 on the way home, and Werner swings through it for strike 3. A 2-out double from Brock Tibbetts to right center, but the Hoosiers stranded as the George Mason Patriot. Gartland strikes out Werner and leaves a runner stranded. In scoring position for Brewster, scoreless after 1, both teams with a hit, no errors. We come back on the Birds Broadcast Network in the top of the second. Four, 5, and 6 due up for the Firebirds to face Patrick Forbes, who returns for the mound for a second inning of work for the Brewster Whitecaps. Ian Nicholas, Dylan Pescatore on the call here for the Birds Broadcast Network. Matt Hallback, the DH, back in the lineup for the second night in a row after battling a minor lower back injury in the middle of the week. Dylan, a great extra base hit late in the loss to Katuitt last night.
Yeah, down 3 in the 9th. Maybe it doesn't mean anything toward that game, but Hallback had a great swing to right center field, went the opposite way, and got the ball to drop a double where, yes, didn't come in a huge comeback effort, but personally for Hallback can definitely get him going.
Hallback, the 6'3", 215-pound righty from UC San Diego, steps up to the plate looking to do some more mashing. Leading off in the top of the second of a scoreless game. Forbes, the fastball, misses low, 1-0 to the Los Gatos, California native, just outside the San Francisco Bay Area. The 1-0 pitch from Forbes is swung on and launched high in the air behind the backstop for strike one to even the count.
Hallback has so much power. The double, his first extra base hit as a Firebird, and now looking for more.
Waves the bat over his right shoulder as he waits for the 1-1 pitch, a breaking ball that misses up and in to the righty Hallback. 2-1.
Today for the Firebirds, it's been said around the team, commit to the fastball, look for fastball, adjust for the off-speed.
On the 2-1, cranked to right field along the line, Ike Irish and a few other Whitecaps in foul territory unable to make the play. 2-2 as that ball drops foul.
Hallback is at his best when he's going to the opposite field, and that's what he was thinking right there against Forbes' fastball. You say commit to the fastball. What does that really mean? It's looking for the fastball. If you see different spin, if you see a changeup, if you see a slider, curveball, whatever it is, then you start to adjust, wait back a little bit more. But you have to think fastball first so you're not late on it.
The 2-2 on the ground towards second, drifting to Diaz, throws to first in time to Ike Irish. One away. A great start for Patrick Forbes. Only pitched 9 1/3 at Louisville in the spring, but the two-way looks great to start this game.
And you can never know if he wants to get a few more innings in, and maybe wasn't used enough on the mound at Louisville, and now he's getting his chance in summer ball against some of the best.
Now faces Jack Penny, the lefty from Notre Dame, who fouls the first pitch back 0-1. Base is empty, 1 out. Scoreless game, top 2. A lot of great two-way players have come through Brewster in the past. One of them, a former Louisville star. The 0-1 pitch, in for strike 2 looking. Penny now down 0-2. Brendan McKay was that former Louisville star, won the Golden Spikes Award and the Dick Hauser Award with the Cards in 2017 and played for Brewster the year before. The 0-2 misses outside. Penny still behind 1-2. McKay actually played for Bourne in 2015. He was drafted 4th overall by the Rays, former Louisville Cardinal, now in the Rays AAA affiliate. The 1-2 pitch, fouled off.
Yeah, McKay, who made his debut a couple years ago in the MLB, had to deal with some injury problems, but I'm sure with how great the Rays organization is with their pitching, they'll have him right back and firing on all cylinders soon.
Base is empty, 1 out. Forbes firing on all cylinders so far, and his 1-2 breaking ball is weakly chopped down the first base line, scooped by Irish. He steps on the bag and forces out Penny. 2 up, 2 down in the top of the second, still scoreless from Stony Brook on a clear 73-degree night.
And now here's the Cardinal mashup.
Eddie King, the rising junior for the Cards, faces his collegiate teammate Patrick Forbes. Spoke very highly of Forbes in our Scorching Start interview before the game, and that's why. Delivers the first pitch strike, looking on the inner half to the righty King, who goes behind 0-1. Base is clear, 2 out. Forbes kicks and deals the 0-1, which misses upstairs. 1-1. King coming off his best game as a Firebird yesterday in the loss to Katuitt with multiple hits. First time he's done that all season long. Forbes at the belt. 1-1 breaking ball, misses low and away. 2-1. And we were talking about injuries and McKay and managing a two-way player. Jamie Shevchuk understands Forbes might not go very long today. He's 6'3", maybe 200-pound guy, still building into his frame. The 2-1 popped up, foul, right field side, out of play. 2-2. Shevchuk said the management part of managing a two-way player, basically just knowing when he's going to pitch. We have to predetermine when his innings are going to be because we don't want to have to pull him off the field to get him stretched out or get him loose. For a player who's been productive offensively for the Whitecaps, you don't want to mess with that by over-pitching him. 2 balls, 2 strikes with nobody on it, 2 out. Up in the zone for ball 3. King, against his collegiate teammate, has worked the count full.
Interesting here. Tibbetts has almost like an IFB in his ear. Must be getting some type of signs from the Brewster coaching staff to give to Forbes.
Not too sure. No balls, 2 strikes. Full count offering is foul towards the left field side. Trevor Warner ran for it and ran out of room. Count still full. You're exactly right, Dylan.
It looks like an annoyance to him. He has to continue to fix it every single pitch.
Looks exactly like an IFB that you or I would wear in sports broadcasting. The guy has it right in his right ear, and you can see the wire very clearly off the right side of his neck. Full count pitch once again. Forbes unloads. Breaking ball just low of his own. Eddie King with another good at bat for the Firebirds. A 2-out walk in the top of the second. Scoreless game.
That is a great at bat from Eddie King. Down in the count, fights his way back, and takes a slider that was just low. Great eye from Eddie King.
Owen Carpellotti with a pinch hit single yesterday. And the loss to Katuitt tries to stay hot from the plate. The lefty to face the righty Forbes. Here's the pitch. First pitch swinging. Foul down the right field line and out of play. 0-1 to Big O, who's gotten really better and better from the plate over these last few games for Orleans. King on first with great speed. Stole his first bag as a Firebird last night. 1 on, 2 out. 0-0 top 2. Forbes checks in on King. Slides in head first safely.
As he should. Eddie King has the speed of, well, what Austin Overin used to bring. 2 as fast as you can get when it comes to college baseball.
King leads the team in runs scored with 7 and is 1 for 1 on stolen base attempts. Another check in on King. Another head first slide to first base. Still safe. 1 on, 2 out. Still no balls and a strike to the catcher batting 7th tonight for Orleans out of Georgetown, Owen Carpellotti. Forbes' 0-1 offering is blistered in the right field, and it drops for a base hit in front of Jaime Ferrer. King took a large lead off second, slid back into the bag head first. Tag applied by Peyton Green, but he's safe. Owen Carpellotti with a 2-out single, and back-to-back base runners reach against Patrick Forbes. 2 on, 2 out. Scoreless. In the top of the second as Jake Hyde comes to the plate.
Carp with 3 straight games with a hit. 2 of them were for RBIs. And now a big spot for Jake Hyde. See if he can get his first big swing for the Firebirds.
Hyde, a second straight lefty, and a second straight Georgetown Hoya to face Patrick Forbes, who looks at King and deals. Swing and a miss at the fastball. 0-1. Forbes had not given up a run this summer, albeit it only pitched 3 innings and 2 appearances out of a bullpen for the Whitecaps, trying to keep it that way. King on second, he walked. Carpellotti on first, he singled to right. Forbes, the 0-1 offering. Another swing, another miss from Hyde. 0-2 to the Connecticut native.
The high fastball has been the kryptonite to Hyde so far this season. It seems like opposing teams are picking up on it. So hard to decide if it's a strike, number 1, and number 2 to get your hands up and somehow make contact with it.
The 0-2 pitch to Hyde. Swing and a miss, a 3-pitch K. Patrick Forbes works out of trouble. Walks Eddie King. Lets Owen Carpellotti reach with a single, but does what he needs to do against Jake Hyde to keep it scoreless after 1.5 from Stony Brook. Bottom of the second. We'll be right back here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Bottom of the second on the Birds Broadcast Network. Still a scoreless affair. The only Cape Cod Baseball League game tonight. Brewster and Orleans deadlocked at 0. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Whitecaps. It starts with the left fielder from Florida State, James Tibbs.
33, James Tibbs.
The 6-foot, 200-pound lefty faces Chad Gartland, the 6'1", 200-pounder righty pitcher. His first pitch of the second inning is popped up high in the left. Coming up for it, Jack Penny. He's all alone, drifts towards his left, makes the catch with his left-handed glove. Rather, Eddie Micheletti in left makes the play. 1 up, 1 down off 1 pitch for Chad Gartland in the bottom of the second. And now it's like Irish.
What has been so great for the Orleans starting pitching, which has been top of the league for the last probably 2 turns through the rotation, has been not only no walks, but also being very efficient.
Like Irish swings at the first pitch, and the lefty pops it to the left side of the field and foul 0-1.
And I mean by efficiency, as Dylan Jacobs yesterday had not only a 5-pitch inning, but also a 4-pitch inning, and it came in back-to-back innings. The 4th and the 5th only took him 9 pitches to complete.
Gartland's 0-1 to Irish. Swing and a miss. 0-2 to the 6'2", 202-pound lefty. Working efficiently is Gartland, like you mentioned. And on the 0-2 offering, he misses upstairs for ball 1. The base is empty and 1 out. 0-0, bottom 2. Gartland's 1-2 pitch. Cut on and missed. Second strikeout for Gartland, as he's gotten 5 outs pretty easily to start this game.
Jacobs yesterday, 5 innings in 46 pitches. Gartland, 21 pitches, got 5 outs so far. And when his fastball is on, which it was right there against Ike Irish, who was late consistently, he can just pick apart hitters.
Can he pick apart Jaime Ferrer, who sends the first pitch in the left center field, drifting towards his left, making the catch? Eddie Micheletti, the answer is no. Efficiency is the name of the game for Chad Gartland and this Orleans pitching staff. Only 3 combined hits for these two through 2 innings, 2 scoreless innings from Stony Brook. We'll be back in the top of the third on the Birds Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the Birds Broadcast Network. I'm Sammy Miller. The game remains scoreless heading to the top of the third. Before the game, I spoke with Cole Cook, one of the Firebirds pitching coaches, and he expressed how much he has loved working with Chad Gartland. He said how Chad is locked in from start to start, which isn't easy for a pitcher, especially when they're off for close to a week. Coach also added how a lot of players like to kick back and relax after a huge game like he had in his 5-inning shutout last week, but that isn't the case. He's constantly looking for ways to get better and is never satisfied. Chad knows that in order to push to get to where he wants to be, which is of course the majors, he has to push himself, and Coach Cook loves to help him out any way he can. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Sammy. Patrick Forbes pushing it for a 3rd inning of work here in his first summer ball start. Scoreless top of the 3rd, and Dylan, you and I were talking about it. Pitch comp, something we don't usually see at the summer ball level. Brock Tibbetts using it tonight as pitching coach Brian Del Rosso for Brewster, the top assistant for Jamie Shevchak, calling the strikes, calling the pitches rather, from the dugout.
That's right, and it's just like your usual MLB pitch com, except no buttons on the leg guards for Tibbetts. He's got an earpiece in, and he's getting, of course, strike, slider, curve roll, fastball, whatever, from the pitching coach, and then he reports it right back to the pitcher using his fingers.
Jake Casey on the 1-0 pitch, grounds it towards short, fielded by Green, throw to first, not in time. Jake Casey with some great speed, reaches on an infield single And it's already the third hit here in the top of the third inning for the Birds, who have a go-ahead run in a scoreless game on first.
That's what set apart the Birds from other teams that they've been playing, is a lot of hustle out of these guys. Even if they maybe don't get the result they want and ground out to third or ground out to short, they're hustling all the way through, and that's what Casey does. He earns himself a leadoff single.
His fourth hit as a Firebird in his 13th game. Back to the top of the order with Joe Oyama, who showed bunt and popped it back behind the dish foul. 0-1 as Oyama now gets the sign from third base coach and hitting coach Max Fesky behind an account 0-1.
With Warner on third, he's much well on the grass, and over at first is Ike Irish holding on the runner. I think Oyama should bunt toward the first base side here.
Did reach on a single that made it through center field, center of the infield, to lead off the game.
He's had a few push bunts that's gone past the mound on the right side near the second baseman, which would put Diaz in a little bit of a tough spot.
No balls and a strike, one on, nobody out. Scoreless top three. Forbes, pickoff attempt towards Casey. Slides into the bag head first, brushes off the white pants, and once again retakes his lead with Irish holding him on. Forbes, 33 pitches in. Ahead in the count 0-1. Deals to Oyama and gets a piece of him. No, it missed him, but it also missed the glove of Tibbetts. And because of that, Casey takes a free bag and slides over to second, as that's ball one to Oyama.
Probably a wild pitch as it went high and in on Oyama, who got out of the way. But now no need to bunt. Well, you could if you want to get run over to third. But with Oyama and how he's been swinging the bat, I'd say let him swing away, try to drive this run in.
Oyama with a team-high 355 batting average, 11 of 31 from the plate, headed into tonight. A ball and a strike. Here's the pitch. Upstairs to the 5'7" lefty. 2-1. Forbes goes behind. Casey on second. Nobody out. 0-0 top three.
With Casey on second, now Irish and Warner with their toes on the grass.
Warner at third. Irish at first. Showing bunt Oyama. It's foul through the wickets of Tibbetts. 2-2 as Casey trots back to second after his leadoff single. And the wild pitch from Forbes allowed him to move into scoring position. A base runner in each inning now for Orleans. No runs to show for it for the 6-8 Firebirds. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Forbes gives a couple glances towards Casey and deals to Oyama, who swings through a pitch high in the zone. Strike 3. Fourth strikeout for Patrick Forbes already.
Number 35, Andy Blake.
Oyama and Hyde are two lefties who have been bit by the high fastball a lot this season. Right there, just too tantalizing for Oyama to hold back on.
Oyama strikes out. Andy Blake struck out looking in the first inning. Runner on second, 1 out. Blake first pitch swinging. Sends a high fly to center. Moving towards his right, backpedaling at the track. The catch is made, but now tagging and sliding over to third is Casey. So that fly out with a little bit of value from Andy Blake. Will Turner with the put out in center. And moving over to left, Casey. Moving over to third, left side of the infield, Casey.
Great job by Casey. Saw it in the air, waited to see if it maybe could drop. Immediately got back to second with his right foot, and then took off when the catch was made.
Micheletti goes behind 0-1. Pitch low in the zone, lands for a strike from Forbes. 1 on, 2 out. Trying to break the scoreless tie at the top of the third. Forbes' 0-1 offering is popped up. Left side, foul territory. Both Warner and Tibbetts go for it. And it lands into the dugout for Brewster and clanks one of their players, who hits the deck, but he's okay. No balls, 2 strikes to Andy Micheletti. Mason White, or maybe James Tibbs, number 33, was the one who hit the deck. The 0-2 pitch. Skied in the left center. James Tibbs in left field. He makes the play. And Jay Casey is stranded on third after a leadoff single. Second time today, Orleans has got the first one to reach, but has not brought him home. And it stays scoreless after 2.5 here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Back on the Birds Broadcast Network in the bottom of the third. 0-0. Still the score from Stony Brook Field between East Division rivals Brewster and Orleans. Chad Gartland returns to the rubber for his third inning of work. Faces 8-9-1 in the Brewster order, starting with the designated hitter by way of Boston College, Vince Samini.
It's Samini and Green in the 8-9 hole for Brewster. Manager Shevchuk looking to get them going, create this lineup that can be more full 1 through 9. It's a Whitecap order that's been really good 1 through 4, however, kind of lacking in that 5 through 9.
Gartland's 1-0 is grounded off the foot of Samini, who does a hop in the right-handed batter's box and walks that one off. Ball and a strike to the 6'2", 190-pound right-handed DH from Scranton, Pennsylvania. He steps back in. Leading off for the Whitecaps, trying to provide some juice from the 8-hole. The 1-1 roped near the Firebirds dugout on the right side of the field. Foul. 1-2 to Samini.
Scranton, Pennsylvania. Why do we know that? The Office, of course.
The 1-2 pitch. Dylan, you haven't watched The Office.
I have.
What?
One of the many, I'm kidding, shows that I've seen, and I really enjoy it.
2 balls, 2 strikes to the Scranton native, who takes for ball 3, a miss outside from Gartland.
I think Stanley is my favorite character.
It's a good choice. Michael's a classic. The full count offering. Swung on, fouled off. Hits the umpire behind the dish, Darren Tyson, as it got by the glove of Carpelati. Everybody's good.
Angela's the one that confuses me.
She never made it easy for Dwight. Leading off, or Andy. Swing and a miss. The Scranton, PA native goes down swinging. Vince Samini down on strikes. And it's the third strikeout for Chad Gartland. 1 away in the bottom of the third, 0-0.
His fastball just looks overpowering today. It was good last time out against Brewster right back here, and he was throwing it for strikes, but today everyone's late on it.
Peyton Green popped up on the first pitch. Foul ball. 0-1, the NC State shortstop.
What's so exciting is Gartland, which we all know is a guy who throws the splitter and the forkball.
Foul the ball, 0-2.
Can be dominant in different ways. So far through his 7 outs that he's recorded, none of them have been strikeouts, or really any of them have been outs because of the splitter or the forkball. It's been the fastball and the slider.
On the 0-2, where does Gartland go? A fastball that's popped foul, drops right into the stands along the right side of the field. Scooped by a fan. Still 0-2, the count to Green.
No errors by each team today, but that is an error by a fan. Went 2 hands, dropped it.
And that's why they're not out here playing in a Cape Cod Baseball League. Another 0-2 offering, breaking ball, bounces off home plate for ball 1. Bases clear, 1 out. 0-0 tie, bottom 3. Brewster with just 1 hit so far through 2 1/3 off Chad Gartland, who fires in the 1-2. Breaking ball in the inside corner for ball 2, which evens the count to Green.
I like that pitch a lot. It was the front door slider. Tried to drop it at the top of the zone.
The 2-2 pitch, low of his own, also gets by the glove of Carpellotti. Full count, 3 straight balls after falling behind 0-2 in the count to Peyton Green, the Cary, North Carolina native.
Garland's pitch count is in good shape. 35 pitches, had a 6-pitch inning in the bottom of the second.
Pitch number 36, a full count offering, fouled off. Fouled off the left shin guard of Green. It's red, representing the colors he wore with the NC State Wolfpack in the spring. He also has a red left elbow pad, and a black arm sleeve on his right arm.
Wonder if he's happy for LSU last night. Tommy White, former Wolfpack member, when he got his show stardom.
3-2 pitch, misses low and away. Tommy Tanks, known for hitting homers, but White, he'll take his free bag. A 1-out walk. First walk handed out by Chad Gartland, not only today, but all summer, now in his 3rd appearance. 1 on, 1 out, back to the top of the order. It's the second baseman and another righty, Davis Diaz.
Some action in that Brewster pen, a lefty getting going.
Patrick Forbes was only expected to go 2 or 3 innings today, as Gartland's fastball misses low to Diaz. 1-0. Diaz grounded out to short in his first go-around, was swinging on both pitches, went down on 2 pitches. Gartland, pickoff attempt, sliding in safe. Peyton Green.
And you got to give a shout-out to the Brewster grounds crew for getting this field ready. Ian, at noon or 1 o'clock, it was still raining pretty hard, too. They did a great job of getting this field ready.
The 1-0 popped up, high fly, right field. Oyama into the outfield, backs up from second, makes the catch over his left shoulder. 2 away with 1 on. Scoreless, bottom of the 3rd, and we're happy to be playing. The grounds crew did a wonderful job here from Stony Brook. 73 and breezy. Perfect weather for a game. Did not look like it earlier today.
No, and we've seen field condition problems. I mean, last Saturday at Eldridge, scheduled to play Hyannis, and the field wasn't cooperative. Today, Stony Brook looks great. Tomorrow, back at Eldridge against Falmouth.
The lefty, Will Turner, takes a ball as the pitch bounces in the dirt, briefly gets by Carpellotti, and allows Peyton Green to move from first to second after a 1-out walk. A ball and no strikes to Will Turner. The only other game on the Cape today between Chatham and Harwich was canceled.
That was an early cancel as well.
1 on, 2 out. A lot of games have been canceled for Chatham this year. A lot of games will have to be made up next month. A ball and no strikes to Turner, who takes strike 1 looking. He shakes his head at home plate ump Darren Tyson and now faces a 1-1 with 1 on and 2 out. 0-0 bottom 3.
The Anglers might enjoy the rest now. There won't be a lot later.
The 1-1 from Gartland. Breaking ball, high in the zone, strike 2.
That's the pitch that he's still looking for. The high slider that maybe he can't get away with all the time, but can definitely get a cold strike here and there. He tried it against Green, but just missed.
Turner of a South Alabama star, trying to drive in the first run of the day for Brewster, but on the 1-2, he takes the ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fastball missing for Gartland. Runner on second is Peyton Green, who walked and moved in the scoring position after a wild pitch from Chad Gartland. Gartland set, looks at second. Here's the 2-2, breaking ball, swing and a miss. Gartland gets out of trouble with strikeout number 4 on the night. Patrick Forbes and Chad Gartland going back and forth. Could be a new pitcher in the game when we return in the top of the 4th, though, for Jamie Shevchek's crew. You'll find out who it is if there is a change when we come back on the Birds Broadcast Network. In a bullpen day for Brewster, Patrick Forbes is done after 3 innings on the mound. What's the final line on him, Dylan, as we start the top of the 4th, tied at 0?
The Birds got 4 base runners, all Forbes in 3 innings. 3 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts in 3 innings. Call him an opener, call him a starter, call him whatever you want. He did the job and got it done, even with some traffic on the base paths. But a new pitcher in for Brewster.
It's Sam Garcia, the lefty who's transferring to Oklahoma State after 3 seasons with High Point.
High Point over in North Carolina. Lefty Garcia, so he'll change up a little bit of what the Firebirds are seeing, but it's 4, 5, and 6 for Orleans, including Eddie King Jr.
Garcia, North Carolina native from Wilmington, 6'3", 215 pounds. Had a monster sophomore season at High Point last spring with a 1.94 ERA in 16 appearances and 8 starts. 58 strikeouts, 14 walks. A first-team All-Big South selection from High Point. Slumped a bit in his junior campaign with an ERA just around 7.6, but talented enough to take his game to the next level at Oklahoma State next year. Matt Hallback leads off for Orleans with 3 hits on the day through 3 innings, but no runs to show for it, and a scoreless tie at top of the 4th. Garcia's first pitch is popped up to shallow right field. Coming in to make the play, Jaime Ferrer, and also Will Turner, the center fielder, makes the play. 1 away, off 1 pitch, Hallback now 0 for 2.
I know it's a pitcher's league, and I know that a lot of zeros are going to be thrown up, but it's been a lot of quick at-bats for both teams today. Swinging early, not getting into deep counts.
Jack Penny. He grounded out his first time up to first. The lefty faces the lefty Garcia and takes ball 1, a low miss. That's something Orleans was able to do well in the series against Brewster just last week. These two met on back-to-back days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Orleans took both games. Penny with a shot to center field. Will Turner backing up at the wall, makes the catch over his shoulder right ahead of his center field wall. A well-hit ball from Jack Penny. Launched it to the deepest part of the outfield, and Will Turner makes the play for the second out of the inning. Bases empty, still scoreless, top 4.
Turner looks like a natural out there. No worry, no panic in his mind. Just jogging back and making a nice catch over his shoulder. Good hit by Penny. Great contact, just not enough.
Well, it's funny you say that because in left field is James Tibbs, as Eddie King takes a first pitch strike 0-1. Those two, Tibbs and Turner, know each other pretty well. We could talk about it more later as there's a ground ball to third and King can't beat it out. 5-3 put out. Werner to Irish. 3 up, 3 down against the new pitcher, Sam Garcia. In the top of the 4th, 4 scoreless frames, 3 from Patrick Forbes, 1 from Sam Garcia. We'll be back on the Birds Broadcast Network in the bottom of the 4th. Bottom of the 4th on the Birds Broadcast Network. Thanks so much for joining us on a wonderful 73-degree evening from Stony Brook. E. Nicholas and Dylan Pescatore on this call. Chad Gartland still on the mound. 3 scoreless frames. He's only given up 1 hit.
Yes, and it got a little bit fishy in that 3rd. The walk, wild pitch got the man to 2nd. So far on the day, runners in scoring position for Brewster, they are 0 for 3. Gartland looking to keep that going and hopefully not have to deal with any more runners in scoring position. A walk and a double so far the offense for Brewster tonight.
3, 4, and 5 due up for this Brewster offense. It starts with the catcher, Brock Tibbetts. who owns the lone hit on the day for Jamie Shevchek's crew through 3 innings. A first inning double. He was left on the base pass after a strikeout from Trevor Werner ended the frame. The 6'4", 225-pound lefty hovers the bat over the right side of his head and takes a first pitch for a ball low of the zone from Gartland. 1-0.
Ian, we've seen almost every single team. We have seen every team, not every team on the road, but Tibbetts,
who is popped up towards first base. Oyama moving towards his left, makes the catch on the infield dirt. 1 up, 1 down, off just 2 pitches as Chad Gartland continues to breeze through Brewster.
I was about to say, Tibbetts is probably one of my favorite hitters to watch, but Garland gets inside there and jams him up. Once again, another short at-bat.
Tibbetts a great player. Second team All-Big Ten at first base for Indiana in the spring, but Gartland retires him easily. And now deals to Werner, who breaks his bat on an infield pop-up. Andy Blake says, I got it, and he did. At short. Right near the infield grass. 3 pitches, 2 outs. This game just continues to blow by as the wind starts to pick up from Brewster. Scoreless in the bottom of the 4th.
Ian, don't say that too loud or else Blake's going to think that you got it.
He's a confident guy. And he's a smart guy. He went to an Ivy League school at Columbia. He's not going to get thrown off by me. First pitch strike to James Tibbs, the left-handed left fielder. He goes behind 0-1. Ball and a strike. Gartland misses low. Bases empty, 2 out. Gartland so close to 4 scoreless innings. 1-1 pitch. Fastball for strike 2.
And why is that? 30 strikes and 49 pitches. He's pounding the zone.
A strike away from ending 4 innings. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt, blocked up by Carpellotti. 2-2.
And it's so funny because he's facing the same team, but this outing is so much different. However, same success against Brewster. Last time out, it was about the forkball and the split. Today, it's the slider and the fastball.
The 2-2 to Tibbs is crushed to right field. Some things don't change, and mashing baseballs for James Tibbs against Orleans does not change. 2-run home run in the first meeting between these two teams this season. This time a solo shot in the bottom of the 4th for James Tibbs to make it 1-0 Brewster. A blast to right center field over the head of Eddie King. Things going oh so well for Chad Gartland until a 2-2 pitch smoked to give the Brewster the 1-0 advantage.
A fastball, 1 too many.
First pitch swinging is Ike Irish, the first baseman. Fouls it off the bleachers near home plate on the left side of the field. 0-1. It's been an excellent 3 2/3 innings pitched from Chad Gartland, but one mistake, and the hard-hitting James Tibbs takes advantage.
Mistakes are going to be made, and in a 0-0 game, things so to a T.
Ground ball to first, Hyde with the scoop, and the touch of his right foot on the bag to retire. Ike Irish. 1-0 Brewster. Didn't look like it would be that way. Gartland with 2 strikes on the 5-hitter James Tibbs, who launched a home run against him last week and does the same here just about a week later. 1-0 Brewster after 4. We'll be back in the top of the 5th when Dylan Pescatore takes over on the play-by-play here on the Birds Broadcast Network.
Sam Garcia back on the mound in the top of the 5th. Brewster up 1-0 on a James Tibbs home run in the bottom of the 4th. Owen Carpellotti, Jake Hyde, and Jake Casey, the 7-8-9 hitters for the Firebirds, due up in this frame. 3 hits for the Firebirds so far tonight. Owen Carpellotti has one of them. A single after a walk by Eddie King in the 2nd with 2 outs. Fouls off the first pitch. Third base side out of play. Orleans has won the first 2 meetings. It was a little 2-game mini-series last Wednesday and Thursday. 4-2 win here at Stony Brook. A strike fired into the upper part of the zone with the fastball by Garcia. Quickly 0-2 on Carpellotti. And then a 13-2 win after 6.5. It was called due to fog at Eldridge. 0-2 is popped up into center. Drifting back is Turner and makes the catch. About 5 feet before the fence here at Stony Brook. Carpellotti puts a good swing on it, but just a little bit under it.
Carpellotti's put a lot of good swings together over the last half a week or so. He's got the power to send it over that right center field wall, but couldn't get enough of it.
Garcia will now face the lefty Hyde. Takes the first pitch ball in the dirt. Garcia's gone 4 up and 4 down so far against Orleans. 1-0 score in favor of the Whitecaps. The 1-1 once again in the dirt. 2-0 to Hyde.
Wait until he throws you a strike. Hyde went down swinging on 3 pitches. In his first at bat, strikeouts have been an issue.
Garcia will kick and deal the 2-2 outside for a ball. 3-0, the same number as the jersey for Hyde, is the count. The 3-0 pitch is low for ball 4. So from a 3-pitch strikeout last time up to now a 4-pitch walk.
Wait until he throws you a strike. Plain and simple. This game has gone by extremely quickly. Both teams could probably take a few more pitches here and there. Garcia has the ability to provide multiple innings of relief out of a bullpen as a starter at High Point. So make him work for it and try to get him out of the game sooner rather than later by taking your free passes.
Another lefty for the Firebirds as Jake Casey takes the first pitch fastball at the top of the zone. Hyde on base at first. Last time he reached was a double in the 9th inning against YD on Sunday night in a 5-4 win in 10 innings. He was pinch run for Eddie King, I should say. The 0-1 is low to Casey with 1 out. Hyde is on first, being held on by Irish. Garcia with a 5.14 ERA coming in 7 innings of work with 11 strikeouts for Brewster. The lefty looks over at Hyde at first. Now will deal to the plate. The 1-1 pitch is high, just above the letters of Casey.
Casey with an opportunity tonight to do some damage against a team that his father, Sean, played for back in the mid-90s. He was an all-star here on the Cape before being an all-star in the major leagues.
2-1, strike at the bottom of the zone. A fastball caught at the knees of Casey makes the count 2-2 with 1 out to the 9-hitter.
In fact, Sean, so good in that 1994 season with the Whitecaps, he was inducted into the League Hall of Fame 20 years ago.
Check in on Hyde, which is trying to get a remodel, and I know it's in Yarmouth. We were there for the broadcasters meeting to start off the year, and so much potential in what could be a great Cape Cod League Hall of Fame.
Last year, Marcus Stroman inducted into the Hall, having a great season.
2-2. Casey sees it, goes to the backstop. To second goes Hyde. It gets past Tibbetts as the sweeping slider was too much for him to handle. Full count to Casey now, and the second wild pitch by a Brewster pitcher today gets a runner in scoring position in Hyde with 1 out.
Yes, the first wild pitch allowed Casey, who reached on an infield single his first time up, to move to second. He was stranded. Now he's trying to make sure that Owen Carpellotti doesn't suffer the same fate with 1 out and a full count pitch awaiting him.
Hyde on second. 3-2 with 1 out. Take strike 3 called. Casey thought it was ball 4 outside. The on-plate umpire does not agree with his assessment. Casey goes down by ways of the backwards K, and it's down to Joe Oyama with the runner on second and Hyde with 2 outs.
It's been a frustrating past couple days for Casey. Yesterday, tried to score a run late in the ball game against Katuitt, slid in the home plate, and it was a close 50-50 call. He was tagged out. Frustrating moment in there. 50-50 call on the outside corner. That one doesn't break for him either.
Oyama looks to lay down a bunt, takes a strike. 2 outs with Hyde on second base. Second time the Firebirds have had a man reach in scoring position. Got a man all the way to third, and Jake Casey back in the third inning. We sit here in the top of the fifth, 1-0 Brewster. Garcia will look at second, now fire towards the plate. High fastball swung through by Oyama.
Very rarely do you see Joe Oyama with over 1,000 OPS on the season fall behind 0-2 in the count. He usually knows how to work it in his favor.
Garcia's firing strikes, 12 strikes out of 20 pitches. 0-2 to Oyama. Kicks and deals outside for a ball. Sliding over to receive that one was Tibbetts. And now, I don't see the pitch comm in his ear anymore. Seems to be only for Forbes.
It's interesting. Both guys haven't pitched a whole lot on the Cape before.
Garcia, the 1-2 is low again to Oyama, who doesn't chase.
Actually, I think I still do see it. It's tough to tell, given the fact that an IFB is supposed to be discreet. That's the whole point. But it's the first time you or I have seen the catcher, I believe, wearing pitch comm here on the Cape.
First time I've seen it, first time I've really looked for it. 2-2, 2 outs, 1-0. Whitecaps in the top of the fifth. Oyama flares it to left. Drifting over is Tibbs, and he'll make the catch. Another runner in scoring position for the Firebirds, but they strand him once again. 1-0 Brewster as we go to the bottom of the fifth on the Birds Broadcast Network. We go to the bottom of the fifth here on the Birds Broadcast Network. 1-0 Brewster on a James Tibbs home run in the fourth. Back out to the mound once again is Chad Gartland, I should say. He'll face Jaime Ferrer, Vince Cimini, and Peyton Green, 7-8-9 for Brewster. Ian, it's been a game of opportunities, one that Orleans haven't been able to convert just yet tonight.
No, I mean, the Orleans offense hasn't been dead silent. Right, you've had 3 hits. You've had multiple opportunities now with runners in scoring position. The pitching has been good, but you can't use that as an excuse. You've been putting the ball in play. Yes, the Brewster defense has been cleaner than usual, but just got to convert, especially when the pitching is good, when you've got a runner on second and third, and put together quality at bats, and it's been a bit of a struggle tonight.
Ferrer is the first batter in the bottom of the fifth as we reach 6:04 on the clock. Started at 5 o'clock. I can tell you how quick this game has been going so far. Ferrer flew out to left to Micheletti back in the second. 1-0 is fouled into the netting, which guards the bat boys and ball boys for Brewster. Thank goodness they have that in front of them.
Those tiny Titans didn't flinch. I'd be pretty scared.
I would be moving away.
Even with the screen in front of me.
1-0, slider outside by Gartland. I'd be running away from my life, especially how hard Ferrer hit it. 2-1 the count. Gartland kicks and deals. Foul ball by Ferrer to the backstop. 3 hits for Orleans, 2 hits for Brewster. One of them going over the fence by James Tibbs over the 390 sign.
Ferrer does hit the ball pretty hard. 22 doubles in the spring with Florida State.
Count even at 2-2. Garland goes to the slider, checking his swing. Did not go as Ferrer.
Jamie Shevchek's landed 2 of the best players on Florida State on this roster in James Tibbs and Ferrer.
3-2. Strike 3 called. Went to the high slider once again was Gartland and gets the strikeout to lead off the 5th.
Fifth strikeout for Gartland. His stuff with so much movement is hard to get a hold of for a batter, even if it's your second time facing him.
Vince Cimini was one of those 5 strikeouts in his first appearance in the box. Takes a fastball inside from Gartland. His pitch count at 57, now 58. As he looks for out number 14. 1-0 inside again. 2-0 to the 8-hitter Cimini. DHing tonight comes in 5 for 25 on the year with a home run. The 2-0 in for a strike with the fastball. It's been a rotation for the Firebirds starting rotation where they go 4 and 2/3, 5, a slider in for a strike, now 2-2 to Cimini as Gartland bounces back. And then they hand it off to a bullpen that's mostly been really good other than last night. 2-2. Cimini gets a piece of the slider, fouls it off.
Well, it was interesting last night because Dylan Jacobs had such a low pitch count after 5, under 50. He was just dealing.
2-2, swing and a miss. Cimini gets the heat, couldn't catch up to it.
Gartland's pitch count exactly 21 more than Jacobs was at this point in the game. I would assume his day is over after 5 innings, although this is only his second start of the summer. Want to preserve the arms.
Still needs another out to get there. Peyton Green, chopper to third. Penny throws it over to first for the out. Gartland gets through 5, a strikeout, and a ground out through a 1-2-3 5th frame. We'll go to the 6th on the Birds Broadcast Network. 1-0, Brewster Whitecaps.
To the Birds Broadcast Network, I'm Sammy Miller. The Brewster Whitecaps are up 1-0 heading to the top of the 6th. The key point of emphasis right now in the Firebirds dugout is committing to the fastball and trusting your eyes in the box. This is the 3rd time Orleans is facing off against Brewster, so they're familiar with the team in the ballpark, allowing them to really trust their instincts. The coaching staff is there to aid in any systematic changes or adjustments, but they also want their guys to trust themselves and be aggressive not only at the plate, but also in base running to collect some stolen bags to gain momentum moving forward. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Sammy. No stolen bases yet for the Firebirds tonight. 2 yesterday in a 5-2 loss against Katuitt. As we reach the top of the 6th, Andy Blake, Eddie Micheletti Jr., and Matt Hallback, 2-3-4 for the Birds. 3 hits so far on the year, or on the season, or the game. Losing my mind over here. Game's going too fast.
Yeah, it's throwing everybody off.
First pitch from Garcia, lined in the left by Blake. This one will get down and into the gap. Chasing it, the left fielder Tibbs. Blake's going for 2. The throw to second, not in time. Andy Blake with a double into left center to lead off the 6th.
Well, Dylan, you tabbed Blake earlier in the week when we recorded our latest edition of the Weekly Burn podcast as a Whitecaps killer, and he continues to make you seem smart. Went 6 for 9 against this team in 2 big wins for Orleans just last week, and he's back at it again.
He's doing God's work, making me look smart.
Not an easy thing to do.
That's what I was about to say. First pitch is high to Eddie Micheletti Jr. 0 for 2 on the day is Eddie from the left side. His front foot with his toes down, his heel up in his stance. An opportunity for the Firebirds to tie this game or even take the lead. 1-0, swing and a miss. Micheletti thought fastball, he got off speed. Fourth hit for the Firebirds today. One more would most likely tie this game up at 1. The 1-1, Micheletti into right center. Over goes Turner, he makes the catch, and it's not deep enough for Blake to tag.
Turner playing a strong center field today for Shevchek's crew. A good piece of hitting, just a bit unlucky for Micheletti.
Number 31, Matt Halbach.
1 walk for Brewster, 2 for Orleans. The at-bats have been short. They've been compact from both sides. That was 3 pitches to Micheletti. Here's Matt Halbach. 1 out. Blake still at second. Halbach lines one down the third base line, but foul. There's a huge opportunity for Orleans, and one where, with how good the pitching's been, they can't pass up. And they'll remember this one if they convert or even if they don't. 4 hits for the Birds, 2 hits for the Whitecaps, who lead 1-0. Top 6. 0-1 count to Halbach, outside for a ball from Garcia, who's pitched 2 1/3 on only 29 pitches. 7 outs, 29 pitches. That's a pretty good ratio.
Garcia not necessarily known as a reliever during his time at High Point, but getting it done.
1-1, called strike on the outside corner.
Started in his first 9 appearances of the year for High Point, had a 6.7 ERA. Then came out of a bullpen over the final 8 games and still gave up 4 earned in 6 innings of work. It was just a tough overall junior year for him.
1-2, Halbach, chopper to third in the hole. Picking it up is Werner, throws over to first in time. Moving to third is Blake with 2 outs. Werner moved to his left, picked it up on 2 hops, and threw it over to first, where Ike Irish got it just in time to get Halbach. Jack Penny is the next batter for the Firebirds, as they now have moved from runner on second, nobody out after the leadoff double by Andy Blake, to now 2 outs. Blake is at third. Garcia's first pitch to Penny is in for a strike.
Obviously, you want to move over the runner, but once again, a leadoff hit for Orleans, and you're in danger of leaving the base runner stranded. Leadoff hits in the first, third, and now 6th.
0-1 to Penny is low. A leadoff double by Blake. Really thought this offense could get going. Penny, a hit, reached on error away from getting Blake home. Maybe even another wild pitch. The 1-1, Penny lines it into right field for a base hit. He tied the game against Whitey in the 8th with a home run. He ties the game in the 6th with an RBI single into right. Jack Penny, RBI, put it on the board. 5th hit for the Firebirds.
Jack Penny continuing to come up in big spots for Orleans over the last few games. On Sunday, it was a solo shot in the 8th at YD. It tied the game at 4, eventually led to an extra innings win for the Firebirds. And today, against another power in the East Division, just puts it through the 4-3 hole.
Garcia makes his first mistake of the night. 2 outs. Eddie King, the batter, takes ball 1 high. Gonna have to start creating some type of nickname for Jack Penny when it comes to being so clutch.
I mean, obviously, with a last name that has to do with money, probably pretty easy to craft up one.
1-0, King down the left field line, just foul. All right on the chalk, but just a little bit to the left. It would have been a double. At least Penny would have came home, or at least been sent home, as Tibbs had to run over, and it would have gotten to foul territory as well. Just a little bit early was Eddie King from having his first extra base hit of the year, maybe even driving in the go-ahead run.
Eddie King had the chance to talk to him before the game on an interview on the Scorching Start. He said he needed that game last night, the multi-hit game against Katuitt badly, and it seems like it's certainly doing good.
1-1 is low. Penny over at first. King at the plate, 2-1 up in the count. And a game like that yesterday, Ian, with 2 hits and 2 stolen bases for King, can definitely get him going.
Hit over 270 in the spring for Louisville.
2-1, pop up, first base side foul, Ike Irish over, leaning, and the second baseman is going to make the catch. That's Diaz. He took it away from Irish, had a better angle to it. So leadoff double for Andy Blake, 2-out single to tie this game by Jack Penny. Eddie King was oh so close to giving the Firebirds the lead. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Tie game 1-1 on the Birds Broadcast Network. Back on the Birds Broadcast Network, 1-1 tie game after a game-tying 2-out RBI single into right field by Jack Penny in the top of the 6th. We're deadlocked at 1 as we go to the bottom, and a new pitcher, Ian, for Orleans.
Yes, it's Derek Clark making his 4th appearance on the summer. All of them now out of a bullpen for the 5'8", 185-pound lefty from Division II Northwood University in Michigan. He's pitched multiple innings in all 3 of his appearances so far. A 1-1 record, a 3.11 ERA, and 8 2/3 innings pitched. 8 strikeouts, 3 walks, 9 hits. Was shaken up a bit in his last appearance on the 23rd at Harwich. Was handed the loss, giving up 2 earned and 2 innings.
Clark from the left side will face the top of the order for Brewster. Chad Gartland had a great outing, and Ian, tell us the numbers about that really quick.
5 innings pitched, gave up 2 hits, and 1 run, which came off a solo shot with 2 outs in the 4th against James Tibbs. 6 strikeouts, just 1 walk.
1 ball, now 2 balls to Diaz. Gartland made his way through the order twice exactly, facing 18 batters. Clark now faces a lineup that comes up for the 3rd time. 2-0 in for a strike to Diaz, who's 0 for 2 on the day. A ground out to short and a fly out to Oyama at 2nd. 2-1 is a changeup that gets Diaz reaching. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Clark so crafty on the mound. He's not going to beat you at velocity. His fastball moves so much. The 2-2, swing and a miss. Got Diaz out in front. 1 batter, 1 strikeout for Clark.
Although Clark might not look like somebody who's pumping out the fastest pitches in the Cape League, he certainly knows how to get guys out via the K. 259 strikeouts in 264 innings pitched in college.
Will Turner takes a high strike. He struck out in the 3rd, and Ian, you look up and down this rotation and bullpen for the Firebirds. 0-1 is in there for a strike at the bottom of the zone. You have Grayson Carter, who's throwing 99 every time he's coming in, and then a guy like Derek Clark, who's getting outs in his own way. 0-2 is outside.
Derek Clark, you know, he doesn't have the 6'5", 250-pound frame of a Grayson Carter who pitches at Vanderbilt, but he's got that kind of mentality.
1-2. Did Turner go? He did. 2 strikeouts for Clark and 2 batters.
Making it look 0-2 easy. And after a tough appearance, his last time out against Harwich, he's put it in the rear view, looking much more like the pitcher who the Firebirds got in the first 2 appearances.
Tibbetts to the plate, swing and a miss at the first pitch from Clark. A double in the first was not brought home, and then a fly out to second in the fourth for the IU man. A beast in the Big Ten. 0-1 is a little bit high to Tibbetts. Came in hitting .342 with 6 RBIs on the year. 1-1 from Clark is a ground ball right back to him. Gets his glove down, goes over to first, and tosses it to Hyde. 1-2-3 inning for Derek Clark, including 2 strikeouts. We'll go to the 7th, still 1-1 on the Birds Broadcast Network. On the Birds Broadcast Network, 1-1 the score as we move into the final 3 frames after 6. 1-1, 5 hits for Orleans, 2 hits for Brewster. Sam Garcia back out for another inning. That'll be his 4th inning of work as we go into the 7th. He'll face Owen Carpellotti, Jake Hyde, and Jake Casey. Jake Hyde got the inning going in the 5th with a walk and then advanced on a wild pitch. Couldn't bring him home. It was Andy Blake with the leadoff double in the 6th. He came around to score on a 2-out RBI single from Jack Penny, which is where we stand right now. 1-1, the lefty Garcia back to the mound.
Yeah, Garcia's been fantastic. Was one of the best pitchers in the Big South just a couple seasons ago in 2022. Orleans' starter, Evan Truitt, probably knows a thing or two about him. Truitt at Charleston Southern. Garcia at High Point, now transferring to Oklahoma State.
The Big South, right?
Big South. Got the Big West, represented by Joe Oyama and Matt Hallback. The Big South, represented by Evan Truitt and Brewster Sam Garcia.
Garcia's first pitch to Carpellotti is in there for a strike. Carp singled in the 2nd, flew out to center, and a deep drive in the 5th. 0-1 is outside. So you got the Big South, you got the Big West, where you got the Big East.
You have the
but
big
where's
o,
the Big North?
You have the Big O at the plate, the Big North.
1-1 outside for a ball. I mean, you have 3 of them. You got to have the 4th, right?
I don't know what schools would be comprised of that. Maine?
What else?
Alaska?
New Hampshire? No, Alaska's way too north. Those travel bills would be way too much.
Isn't that
Maine
the
and Alaska?
point? That's the point. Big North is all the best schools from the north.
I see your point. I don't know if they're going to do a Maine to Alaska flight. 3-1 to Carp is in there for a strike from Garcia.
Carp thought he was walking. He lunged backwards, was about to drop the bat.
Now sits in a full count and strikes out looking. Outside fastball from Garcia. His 2nd strikeout in his 4th inning of work and his 10th out.
Just looking super comfortable out there is Garcia, showing everybody why he is transferring to Oklahoma State despite a subpar season. But now he faces a new task, and a USC Trojan, a pinch hitter, Johnny Olmstead.
Olmstead, who's come in multiple times for Hyde and vice versa to play first base. Still looking to really get going for the Firebirds, 5 for 30 on the year with 1 home run and 4 RBIs. First pitch to him is a fastball that he swings through for strike 1. Olmstead will take over at first most likely for Hyde defensively. All the coaches have said that he's looked really locked in before the game, taking swings, takes the ball low, and is poised to break out shortly.
He's a super talented player. Had a great senior season with USC in the spring. And he's had moments of brilliance.
1-1 swings through.
Strikeouts have been a problem. He's got over 15 on the year. But he's going to continue to get opportunities because just like he proved with that big 3-run home run against Bourne a few weeks ago, the power is very clearly there.
1-2 to Olmsted, outside for a ball. His teammate Austin Overn, who was with the team last time we came to Brewster. Not anymore, playing for Team USA and trying out for their prestigious squad. 2-2, low and inside from to Olmsted. Runs the count full. A great at-bat from Johnny. See if he can get anything out of it. Garcia about to throw pitch number 50. Here it comes. Olmsted called out on strikes. He thought it was inside. He thought he was walking. He is not. 2 backwards Ks for the Firebirds in the 7th.
And 2 straight pinch hitters, too. Fenwick Trimble is going to replace Eddie Micheletti Jr. in the 3-hole in this lineup. Actually, Jake Casey, my apologies, getting ahead of myself. Going to replace Casey in the 9 spot and also in right field.
This move was done last night against Katuitt. Casey started the game, and or I should say Trimble started the game and then replaced by Casey. Looking back to the book, in the 8th inning where Casey took an at-bat, was hit by a pitch and was thrown out at the plate to end that top of the 8th. Trimble takes a pitch inside for a ball from Garcia. Now has 3 Ks, 2 in this inning in the top of the 7th of a 1-1 game. No one on base. 1-0 the count to Trimble. Takes a pitch low.
Trimble, somebody who could definitely use a trip around the bases. Strong start to the year, but now 9 for 47. He is yet to walk as a Firebird.
2-0 swings through a fastball. Last time he took a trip around the bases was, well, right here, Ian, in Brewster.
It was, and it was a wonky trip, wasn't it? Fly ball to center field, which was ruled a ground rule double initially and then overturned into a home run.
2-1 is a strike. I'll say it to you like this. The center field wall here is 395. According to the TrackMan technology, the ball went 380. Ruled a home run. It's almost like a riddle. However, it's not. 2-2 the count to Trimble. Fouls it off, third base side out of play. After looking at video after the game, of course, no replay review here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. It looked like a double, and it landed before the wall. The umpires ruled it a home run, and Firebirds went on to win 4-2. We'll do the 2-2 again with 2 outs. Trimble checks his swing in the dirt. They're going to check over at first. No swing. Runs the count full. That's 3 straight full counts from Garcia. Here in the 7th. Both from so far have ended in backwards Ks. Garcia gets his sign and nods in agreement with Tibbetts. He'll kick and deal the 3-2. Trimble fouls it first base side out of play.
It's a good at-bat for Trimble. Not easy to come off the bench in the middle of the game, albeit it's become somewhat routine for Kelly Nicholson's team this season in battle like this.
Do the full count pitch again. Trimble line drive into left for a base hit. He got it on the barrel with the fastball, and Trimble, with a 2-out single in the 7th, turns over the order, and Joe Oyama will be the next batter.
Great at-bat for Fenwick Trimble. His 10th hit on the summer. Now back up and over 200 in the batting average department for somebody who hit well over 300 during a stellar sophomore season with James Madison in the spring. Speaking of somebody who hits well over 300, Joe Oyama has cooled off a little bit trying to get hot.
First pitch to Joe, inside for a strike. And he did check his swing. Trimble's at first. He has some speed in him. Firebirds looking to get a little bit more aggressive on the base paths. Ike Irish holding him on at first base. Garcia the lefty. The 1-0 to Oyama, who lines it into left. That one's going to get down. Trimble past second. He's going to go to third. Misplayed by Turner in center. They're going to send Trimble to the plate. The throw is in time. Trimble out at the plate. second time in as many games that the Firebirds have a runner thrown out at the plate. It was a single to the opposite field in left center. Turner had it go past them and to the wall. Trimble not only took off for third, but also got the wave from third base coach Max Fesky, came to the plate and was thrown out. A great relay by Brewster from Turner to Green to Tibbetts for the out. We'll stretch here in Brewster. 1-1 the score. Some fireworks to end the top of the seventh for Orleans. Trimble at first after a single, thrown out at home after a misplay by Will Turner in center. But a great relay by Brewster got the runner out at home. Tibbetts with the tag on Trimble. We'll go to the bottom of the seventh. 1-1 the score. Firebirds now with 7 hits on the night. Brewster with 2. Trevor Werner is the first hitter in the seventh for Brewster. Takes the first pitch strike by Derek Clark. He's in his second inning of work. 2 strikeouts in the bottom of the sixth. The 0-1 is cracked into right center. Over goes Eddie King. He has room, and he'll make the catch.
Yeah, just to revisit that sequence to end the top of the inning, definitely the right call from Max Fesky over at third base, as Dylan kind of recapped. But Fenwick Trimble's got good speed. I don't know, kind of seemed like he ran out of gas towards the end of it. Will Turner was able to make a great play after the initial slip-up in center.
Tibbs is the next batter for Brewster. Takes a high fastball for a ball. Trimble came all the way from first to home. Tibbs, second pitch, ground ball to Oyama, who's in the outfield. Throws over to first. Olmstead in time. Johnny had some trouble finding the bag there. His first inning on defense as he pinched hit in the top of the seventh. But with 2 outs in a game, Ian, where runs are not aplenty, you have to take some chances, and I don't blame Coach Fesky for sending him.
No, it was the right call. But give credit to Will Turner for making up for his initial mistake, and needed to be a perfect throw. There's a reason why you're playing center field in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Ike Irish takes a strike. 1-1 the count to the lefty. He was 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. Swings and misses through another pitch. Quickly 1-2 with 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the seventh of a 1-1 game. Clark working quickly. Kicks. Steals the 1-2. Irish gets a piece.
Irish, a monster freshman season with Auburn, a freshman All-American. The catcher did a lot of damage from the plate. Hit over 350 on the year.
1-2. Swings. Tips it off the glove of Carpellotti to stay alive. So the 2 defensive replacements for the pinch hitters are Olmstead at first in place of Hyde, and Trimble takes over in right for Jake Casey. 1-2 still the count on Irish. Clark will deal. High fastball. Just getting a piece again was Irish. Almost lined it into the Brewster dugout.
A good at bat after 2 quick outs from Derek Clark. Irish not making it easy.
Clark shakes his head a few times. Now gets his sign. 1-2 again. Off speed, just outside. A few groans from the Firebird faithful.
Not a lot of calls on the outside corner.
2-2, 2 outs, just low. Runs the count full. Irish struck out in the 5th, flew out in the 2nd. Here's the full count pitch with 2 outs. Another foul ball. All of them going to the third base side over the Brewster dugout. Clark looking to jam up the lefty Irish, who came in hitting .235. Do the full count pitch again. Another foul ball right at the plate. It's a battle between Clark and Irish. Let's do the full count pitch again with 2 outs. Irish, another foul ball, this time almost into the Brewster bullpen, which lays in the foul territory down in the third base line.
It's a really good battle from Irish, who's still trying to heat up this season.
3-2, Irish ground ball to Oyama. He'll throw it over to first. Olmstead with the catch, and Derek Clark wins the battle. 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. We will go to the 8th. Still 1-1 the score on the Birds Broadcast Network. Top 8, close game, and if you've seen the last few games from the Firebirds, are you surprised? More stress, more tension, and another close game as we move into the later innings.
It is, and with it, a pitching change after a great performance, middle inning relief from Sam Garcia. Now handed the ball is Ben Gorski, the rising 5th year from Rutgers. He knows a couple of Firebirds well, including the guy on deck and Eddie Micheletti. Both of them played together for the Mystic Schooners in the NECBL last summer. Just like Jonathan Gonzalez, too.
We talked a little NECBL yesterday as well.
Yeah.
With Dylan Jacobs and Cam Hill, both starting pitchers, winning that championship in 2022. Andy Blake will be the first hitter in the top of the 8th for Orleans. He led off the 6th with a double and was driven in by Jack Penny with an RBI single with 2 outs. So Blake the only run for the Firebirds so far today as we reach the top of the 8th here on the Birds Broadcast Network of a 1-1 game. First pitch to Blake is high for a ball.
You have a Chatham, New Jersey native.
Where are you?
Chatham, New Jersey.
He's not from the Cape?
No.
Oh.
And he's also not going to the Chatham A's game today because the guy rained out.
Not many are. 1-0 is low. So not only a Chatham, Mass, but a Chatham, New Jersey.
Take the Garden State all day, every day.
I'm the other way. I'm the other way.
My father's from Jersey. I got to say that.
2-0 is low. Does Chatham, New Jersey have a store named Ducks in the Window?
Does Chatham, Mass?
Yes.
Oh, we went there.
Yes, we did, Ian. Just a couple days ago.
It's a long season.
3-0 from Gorski. Inside to Blake. A 4-pitch walk to start off the 8th. Andy Blake will reach for the second time tonight.
Gorski had a good senior season at Rutgers, but at the tail end of the year, struggled. Only gave up 8 earned over his first 37 innings and then kind of imploded over his final 2 outings. Finished the year of a 3.4 ERA, his 3rd walk of the summer.
Eddie Micheletti is the hitter. Takes the ball outside. A big opportunity for the Firebirds to take the lead here in the 8th. Blake with a leadoff walk against Gorski, who's now thrown 5 straight balls. Gets his sign, the 1-0, swing and a miss by Micheletti. 0 for 3 on the day, unusual from the lefty. It's kind of solidified his spot in the 3 hole for the Firebirds.
Mystic Schooner on Mystic Schooner.
Check over on Blake first. He gets back safely.
Micheletti was an all-star in the NECBL last summer, and although I would say he's gotten there just yet with Orleans, he, as you mentioned, has been one of the most consistent bats in the lineup.
1-1 from Gorski to Micheletti. Before we get there, another check over on Blake, and a good scoop by Irish. That ball didn't get away.
Blake has good speed. Still over double-digit bags with Columbia in the spring.
Gorski knows the scouting report, continuously picking off. 1-1 to Micheletti, who pops it foul, first base side. Got good wood, but way early.
Eddie Micheletti. He knows how to hit home runs against Brewster. And that 13-2 win last Thursday from Eldridge blasted a ball over the right field wall for his second long bomb of the year.
Another check over on Blake. Micheletti with good wood on that foul ball. Let's see if he can straighten it out. One, two, the count. Pitch is rocked into center field, but right at Turner, who makes the catch. Hard contact, unlucky for Eddie Micheletti.
Yeah, this day has been an unlucky one for the Orleans offense. Might be tied at 1, but 7 hits for the Birds and only 2 for the Caps.
Micheletti with 2 straight lineouts to center field. Here's Matt Hallback. Runner on first still is Andy Blake with 1 out, top 8, 1-1 game. Gorski's first pitch to Hallback is a fastball at the bottom of the zone for a strike. We'll see how aggressive the Firebirds are here on the base paths against Tibbetts, the catcher. Also plays the outfield, has a good arm. The 0-1 off speed, drops in for a strike. Quickly 0-2 to Hallback. Oh for 3 day for Matt out of UCSD. Another check over on Blake. As Ian said earlier, represents the Big West.
Yes, him and Joe Oyama leading off of the Birds. They were summer ball teammates a year ago in the West Coast League.
0-2 to Hallback. Fastball gets a piece.
Hallback has had a solid start to the summer, obviously hampered by a minor injury that took him out of the lineup last week. But 2 runs driven in his first 3 games with the team.
0-2, and he's looking for another one right here. Blake off first. Gorski will deal to the plate. Hallback lines it into left center, and it will get down and past Turner. And to the fence. Blake past third. He's going to come to the plate. Hallback's going to go to third and get in there safely. A go-ahead extra base hit for Matt Hallback as Blake comes around to score.
The 8th hit of the night for the Birds is the biggest. And all of a sudden, rain starting to drop from the heavens here on what looked like a relatively clear day until now from Stony Brook. Turner laid out for it, took a big risk and could not come up with anything as a bit of a sun shower from Stony Brook.
2-1 Birds, top 8. Hallback. We're going to see how they officially rule that one, as it should be a triple. Turner did not get a piece. He dove for it and came up empty. The ball went all the way to center into the fence, which allowed Blake to score.
Was a rule to triple in the scorebook. Something about those guys from the Big West with 3 baggers.
0-1. Penny now the batter, now 0-2 as he looks to pad this lead. Rain coming down pretty hard here in Brewster. We held off for a good amount of time, 8 innings down, so this game could definitely be ruled as complete, even if we don't get 9. 0-2 to Penny. Enfield is in with 1 out. Off third is Hallback against Gorski. The pitch is grounded foul, first base side. Penny, who tied this game up in the top of the 6th with an RBI single, drove in Andy Blake, who now has both runs for the Firebirds today. Gorski set, the 0-2 again to Penny, lines it into right field, another RBI, and another single into right for Jack Penny. Hallback comes around to score, 3-1 Birds, top 8.
Well, the Orleans offense gets hot as the rain continues to fall. I mean, the offense has been putting good wood on it all day, to steal an expression of yours. Now 9 hits, and against Gorski, guys are able to dominate right now. I mentioned it before the game last night and today. This Brewster bullpen hasn't been super reliable. Wait your time, and eventually you're going to get some results that are good. And Gorski is going to have a talking to.
Now, here are the rules, Ian, and I don't want to scare any Firebirds fans, but if they rule that this game needs to be called between now and the middle of the 8th before Brewster gets a chance at hitting, this game will have to go back to the score that the inning started at. So it would be a 1-1 tie, which is why the Firebirds really need this game to get through the bottom of the 8th. Gorski still on the mound after the meeting with the pitching coach, Del Rosso. Eddie King is the batter with 1 out, Jack Penny on first. Birds up 3-1 with 2 runs here in the 8th. It all started with a 4-pitch walk to Andy Blake, a triple by Matt Hallback into left center, and then an RBI single by Jack Penny. King swings through a first pitch fastball. As I said before, if this game is called between now and before Brewster gets their 3 outs to hit in the bottom of the 8th, it will go back to the score that this inning started at, which was 1-1. 0-1 off speed, low.
And one team that would know that well is Brewster. They got 2 ties on the year, and to use a PG term, they kind of got the short end of the stick earlier this season.
1-1 is fouled back. Good word usage.
Yeah, I was
for
thinking.
The kids. For the
kids. There are kids, a lot of kids watching the game tonight. One of them said, quote, "It's raining." Thanks.
Good observation.
Good observation.
1-2 to King as we zip up the raincoats. Is outside with the off-speed from Gorski. And Ian, you say it from starters, you say it for bullpen guys. Leadoff walks kill. That's what happened in this inning to Brewster.
Well, Orleans was able to put guys on to start innings today. Finally, Andy Blake's leadoff walk.
2-2, pop fly into shallow center. In comes Turner, and he'll make the catch. Penny goes back to first with 2 outs. Talk about Jack Penny, 2 RBIs out of the 3 runs today. Andy Blake with 2 runs. But the lefty Penny is really coming up clutch and big for the Firebirds this year.
A player who's going to be a pivotal part of a turnaround at Notre Dame. A tough season for the Fighting Irish with Link Jarrett leaving for Florida State after a College World Series appearance in 2022. Penny battled adversity himself. Dislocated shoulder in the middle of the year.
Owen Carpellotti thought about swinging, takes a first pitch strike from Gorski. The rain has kind of let up, if we're being positive, and we're trying to stay positive. The skies are still a little bit light. Some dark clouds incoming. 0-1, Carpellotti, foul ball, first base side. Good play. First base coach Joey Cooper.
Yes.
Staying down, grabbing it with the left hand. Best fielding percentage in the league.
I don't think it's at 1,000.
0-2 to Carpellotti. Swing and a miss. Go Gorski. Works himself into trouble, and the Firebirds make him pay. Big hit by Matt Hallback. A triple into left center to drive home Andy Blake. And then Jack Penny with an RBI single to put the Birds up 3-1. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Bottom 8, the rain continues to come down here in Brewster. Getting soaked. Equipment stays dry. Bottom 8, Birds up 3-1. Sam Leboki to the mound out of Vandy. His first official outing of the year. Came in against Harwich, was not active at the time. Now he is active, and he's ready to go. Birds, in all reality, only need 3 outs to make this one a complete game. We've already played 5. We're now in the bottom of the 8th.
This is an interesting situation for Sam Leboki. I mean, obviously, pitching in the rain is something you rarely do, but we mentioned it in the top of the inning. If Orleans is unable to get 3 outs here in the bottom of the 8th, then the 2 runs that the Birds put up in the top of the frame would be wiped off the board if the game is called, and the game would finish 1-1. So Leboki might not work super quickly, but he might think of speeding himself up a little bit because it's coming down pretty hard here from Stony Brook. And the clouds look like bad. They look bad.
We look good right now. Bottom 8, Leboki hits the first batter. Ferrer in the top of his back. He'll slowly make his way up. Of course, the rain impacting the grip on the baseball, impacting the dirt, making it more like mud. But Samini will be the next batter for the Brewster Whitecaps. Ferrer making his way slowly to first. No outs. Ferrer reaches on the hit by pitch.
Rain still coming down strong. They worked a lot on the mound before the game, the Brewster grounds crew did. And all that hard work kind of for nothing here.
Dylan Leach is the pinch hitter for Brewster. Out of Michigan, which explains the yellow ankle guard. Ferrer off first. First pitch to Leach is high from Leboki.
Used to call it yellow. I think Michiganders would call it maize.
I don't want any Michiganders on my tail. 1-0 to Leach. Inside for a strike. The rain definitely went to a different level between the top and bottom of the 8th. It's going from coming down hard to taking a little break. 2-0, Leach fouls it off from Leboki, the right-hander out of Vanderbilt.
I mean, Orleans has already had so many cancellations, delays, games stopped short because of rain this year. It's been a rainy month of June.
Ferrer off first, now 3-1 as it goes outside. Leboki and Clark were the only pitchers on the roster that did not pitch in the last 2 days. And we're talking about bullpen guys, of course.
7 different pitchers used in the Sunday win against YD.
3-1's inside. Leach will walk. So a hit by pitch and a walk to start off the bottom of the 8th. In a 2-run game, not how you want to start off the inning, Ian.
No, and a bit surprising from Leboki because his first appearance of the year came on Friday on the road against Harwich, one of the best teams in the East. And he looked fantastic. He went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess you could say, in his 2 innings of work. 6 up, 6 down. Another pinch hitter in the ballgame, though. Peyton Green out.
And Mason White comes in. Already a home run against Orleans this year. Is in the 13-2 blowout win for the Firebirds. Off second is Ferrer. First pitch is a strike as White was looking to bunt. Penny came in crashing. Firebirds need an out here either way.
For Brewster, I don't want to say it almost feels like a walk-off situation, but you've got the go-ahead run at the plate in a game where rain could call this one.
0-1. And did that get him? Yes, it did. A nightmare start to the bottom of the 8th for the Firebirds. A hit by pitch, a walk, and another hit by pitch with nobody out in a 2-run game.
And that will cue a mound visit for Owen Carpellotti, the catcher. Obviously, things not working right now for Leboki, and you know, how much of a blame can you put on him with the elements? I mean, striking 2 batters is striking 2 batters. But you mentioned it as soon as he threw his first pitch, which struck Jaime Ferrer, who's now a third. How well can the right-handed hurler grip the baseball right now?
The rain has kind of let up a little bit. Not as bad as it once was. Now bases loaded for Diaz. 3-1 Birds. First pitch is high for a ball. Not sure if anyone's warming up for the Birds in the bullpen. We can't see all the way down the line. Got to think Sean Matson's available. 1-0. Here's a strike from Leboki to Diaz. The Firebirds guarding a 2-run lead that they earned in the top of the inning. Matt Hallback, RBI triple. Jack Penny, RBI single. 1-1 is lined into center. Back goes Eddie King. He's got a beat on it. He'll make the catch. Tagging to come home is Ferrer. Going to third is Dylan Leach. And out, but a sac fly for Diaz. Scoring is Ferrer. To third is Leach. Staying at first is Mason White.
Vanderbilt on Vanderbilt crime. Davis Diaz with a well-hit ball to straightaway center against his collegiate teammate Sam Leboki. Comes up in an important spot and slices the lead in half for Orleans. Diaz does a job.
Will Turner to the plate. Runners on the corners with 1 out. Turner, who dove for Matt Hallback's triple and came up empty, which allowed Blake to come all the way around to score and Hallback to go to third. First pitch to Turner. The lefty is high from Leboki. And now it seems like the sun is coming back out, Ian.
At first, I thought it was a sun shower, and it would end quickly, but
1-0 in there for a strike. Firebirds desperately need to cut this run out at home as it's now 3-2 after the sac fly. The middle infield is in double play depth, and the corners are in with the first baseman Olmstead checking in on the runner as Leboki throws it to him. Safe is Mason White.
there was lightning in the forecast earlier in the day. Obviously, we haven't heard any thunder in the background, and the game would be called if there was any lightning in the vicinity.
1-1 pitch. Strike at the top of the zone with the fastball. A jam. A lot of stress. 3-2 game. Bottom 8. Runners on the corners for Brewster with 1 out. 1-2 count to Will Turner against Sam Leboki. And the pitch. Strike 3 swinging. Big strikeout for Leboki in the bottom of the 8th for the second out of the inning.
Look, as a pitcher, especially in high leverage situations, things aren't always going to go your way. But when you have a lead, your job is to protect it. And even in unideal situations, as Carpelati gives the signs to the infield with 2 on and 2 out, how do you respond to adversity? You record back-to-back outs and try to get out of a bad jam with limited damage done.
Runners on the corners for Brock Tibbetts. First pitch to Tibbetts is in for a strike on the off-speed pitch. On third is Leach. On first is White. 0-1 to Tibbetts with 2 outs. 3-2 game. Birds in front. Tibbetts, a weak ground ball. Blake charging, throwing, in time to get him. From bases loaded, no outs, to 1 run coming across. The lead stays with the Firebirds. 3-2 as we go to the 9th on the Birds Broadcast Network. Back on the Birds Broadcast Network.
Moving from second base to shortstop, number 1, Davis Diaz.
Diaz will move to short.
Second base, number 39, Mason White.
And Mason White, who pinch hit in that inning, will move to second. Top 9, 3-2 Firebirds after Sam Leboki loaded the bases. A hit by pitch, a walk, another hit by pitch, and gets out of it, only allowing 1 run. 3 runs for the Birds, 2 for Brewster. Johnny Olmstead is the first hitter. He pinched hit in the 7th. Went down on strikes after a full count battle.
Give a lot of credit to Leboki. Confidence probably wasn't too high after striking 2 of the first 3 batters he faced. Then got a fly ball, a strikeout, and a ground out. Getting it done in a multitude of ways.
Olmstead down the left field line, but foul. Max Fescue, the hitting coach, says build on it from third base and claps his hands.
There's the raw power of Johnny O coming out to play.
0-1 against Gorski. Then for a second inning of work, Olmstead pops into left. Back goes left fielder Tibbs, still chasing after it. It's going to land at the base of the wall. Olmstead leads off the top of the 9th with a double.
And there it is, right on cue. Olmstead nearly sends it over the left field wall and does, in fact, build on a great swing, this time pulling it just into fair territory after he laced it foul the first go-around, something he can build off of. Double-digit home runs with USC in the spring and also double-digit doubles as well.
Fenwick Trimble with the corners in, expecting a bunt. Olmstead at second with nobody out. First pitch is a strike at the bottom of the zone to Trimble. He singled in the 7th to left. He was thrown out at home after a Joe Oyama double. Misplayed by Will Turner in center. Trimble thrown out at the plate. 0-1 pitch to Fenwick is high.
Rain has shut down here from Brewster after an 8th inning where there was a lot of rain and the status of this game was kind of in question. Mother Nature has hushed.
1-1 to Fenwick. Pops it into center. Turner's got a beat on it, makes the catch, and Olmstead, who thought that one was going to drop, had to head back to second. Ian, I pose you a question.
Uh-oh. I'm not good on the fly.
As Jamie Shevchek's going to come out to the mound, most likely for a pitching change. We sit here 3-2 Firebirds with Olmstead on second, 1 out, and Joe Oyama the batter as we get into a mound visit. If this game stands at what it is, 3-2 or maybe even 4-2, who do you have closing or who do you have coming in for the final 3 outs for Orleans? Every pitcher has been used now in the last 2 days.
I think at this point it would be puzzling to not see Sean Matson. But I tell you who we're not going to see right now, it's not going to be Gorski anymore. A pitching change for Jamie Shevchek, trying to keep it a 1-run game. So whoever comes in, who cares? For Orleans, the rain, it's back. We jinxed it. It's come back in full force as the pitching change is underway for Brewster.
Back on the Birds Broadcast Network, Johnny Olmstead takes his place at second after a leadoff double. It's top 9, 3-2 Firebirds, threatening to score another. 1 out. Joe Oyama is the batter, the lefty, facing off with Rocco Reed, the new pitcher for Brewster from the left side. First pitch from Reed is a strike.
Mother Nature has been a tricky beast today. But with rain comes a rainbow. And Dylan, I don't know if you've seen it, but directly behind us off the left side of first base, a beautiful rainbow.
Oh, man, look at that. Oh, too, we do radio, but everyone knows what a rainbow looks like. And, I mean, I always want to know what's at the end of it.
Lucky Charms.
Now, that's a good reference.
Not my favorite cereal. More of a Cinnamon Toast Crunch connoisseur.
0-2 to Oyama with 1 out. Pops it foul out of play. Rocco Reed out of Clemson, a rising junior. Over 0-1 on the season. Against Falmouth, 2 innings, 1 run, 1 earned, 3 hits. That earned him the loss. An ERA of 6.35. Oyama looking to make that a little bit higher. We stay at 0-2. Reed looks at second, fires high for ball 1. Going back to Lucky Charms, Ian. You know I have weird food takes.
Oh, my gosh. The weirdest.
When I got Lucky Charms, I did not eat any of the regular cereal pieces.
You
I only ate the marshmallows.
That's not that cold to take.
But don't tell my parents.
I won't.
1-2 with 1 out. Oyama, little dribbler, first base line. Going to be a tough play. No one makes the play. Oyama's going to reach on a single of his own. Olmstead to third in the 9th with 1 out.
That ball just died in the infield grass. Looked like it was maybe going to drift towards second.
Now batting the shortstop,
Oyama,
number
the master of putting the ball at play and letting his speed do the rest. He can hit the ball hard, but usually when he puts the ball in play, he finds a way to get on one way or another.
Andy Blake is the hitter. Came around to score twice out of the 3 runs for Orleans. 1 out. Runners on the corners. Blake's going to get the bunt down, but foul. Was a suicide squeeze as Olmstead was coming to the plate. Firebirds looking for some insurance.
He wasn't just coming to the plate. He pretty much got to the dish. He was just a few feet away from touching it. Andy Blake, not someone we have seen this year lay down a bunt for Orleans. He's hitting second today because of his power, his ability to launch frozen ropes into the outfield like he has done tonight.
Oyama off first, held on by Irish. 0-1 the count. Reed will deal to Blake, who's swinging and missing. Goes back to his normal swing. Swung over the fastball. 0-2 quickly the count to Blake. Oyama at first and Olmstead at third. We're going to push across a 4th run, looking for some insurance, and now a mound visit in the middle of an at-bat. A little bit uncommon, a bit rare, and the pitching coach Del Rosso is coming out to talk to Rocco Reed, who just fired 2 pretty good strikes and looks good.
It's an interesting decision for sure, but Coach Del Rosso, somebody that has a lot of trust and respect from Jamie Shevchuk. Those 2 coached together at Keystone College in Pennsylvania, where they dominate. It's a terrific program, both in the Hall of Fame at Keystone. Del Rosso knows what he's doing, working with Shevchuk and working with his pitchers. One big pitch awaits Andy Blake with runners on the corners and only an out, just a 1-run ball game.
So the middle infielders are back. The corners are in. Dyke Irish holding on Oyama at first. 0-2 with 1 out. Andy Blake the batter. Corners are filled by runners. Blake up the middle. Diving play by the shortstop for 1. On to first. Double play. Diaz to White to Irish in a highlight reel double play. Robbing the Firebirds of run number 4. They'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Up 1. Looking to close it out against Brewster. 3-2 the score on the Birds Broadcast Network. Bottom 9. Birds up 3-2. And it's Danny Carrion out of UC Davis, the right-handed hurler, to close it out against the Whitecaps here on a rainy but not anymore rainbow-filled sky here at Brewster.
It's been a weird day, right? We woke up this morning and didn't think we were playing a baseball game. Finally, the call came in around 2:30. We're playing baseball, a little show and go, show up to the field and hope the field conditions are good. And they were through 5 innings. And the sky is partially beautiful, partially cloudy, partially rainbow-filled. Danny Carrion, though, in a wild day, 3 outs away from capping off his 7th win of a Firebird season. He faces the heart of the order for Jamie Shevchuk's team.
4-5-6. Trevor Warner, James Tibbs, Ike Irish. It won't be easy for Danny Carrion, who last pitched on Sunday against YD. First pitch, foul ball, out of play into the playground here in Brewster. Carrion last pitched, as I said, against YD, and struck out the first 2 batters before allowing a go-ahead 3-run home run to Hunter Hines, which, in all reality, every pitcher is giving up a home run to Hunter Hines by this point, right?
Yeah, he's unreal.
0-1, now 1-1 after a high fastball.
Carrion's got good stuff and looks very solid in his first couple appearances for Orleans this season. Gave up 1 earned and 2 2/3, but that solo shot to Hunter Hines, or at least
1-1 is fouled away.
He only gave up the earned run as he inherited some base runners. Carrion, an all Big West selection at UC Davis in the spring with a fastball that creeps into the mid-90s.
1-2 to Warner. Carrion's 4th outing of the year. All out of the pen. His biggest one yet. The 1-2 fouled away by Warner. Back on June 20th, a week ago from today, it started the 3-game win streak by the Firebirds. They won at Falmouth 5-4. Carrion struck out the side in the 8th inning, came in for the 9th, and walked 2, was taken out. Sean Matson did the rest. 1-2 again. Another foul ball on the off-speed pitch from Warner.
Warner has been one of the few bats consistently getting it done for Brewster over the last few games. Whitecaps team that's just 3-6-1 over its last 10 has needed its services badly and still isn't getting a lot offensively.
Carrion, deep breath. 1-2, foul ball, third base line. Goes into the Brewster bullpen.
Only 2 hits today for the Whitecaps. They've got some breaks and have ended up with 2 runs. Still in this thing.
Carrion will come set for the 1-2 for the 3rd time. Here it comes. Foul ball. It's been high fastball or low breaking ball out of Carrion so far. Big strikeout numbers for him so far this year. 6 strikeouts in 3 2/3 innings of work.
You want to swing at the high cheese, or do you want to take a chance that the pitch doesn't drop too low on the breaking ball? A couple of really tough pitches.
1-2. Did he go on the off speed? He did. A leadoff strikeout for Carrion on Warner. His 2nd K of the day, and the Firebirds are 2 outs away.
You mentioned it, Dylan. He either goes high or low. He stays away from the heart of his zone against guys like Trevor Warner and now James Tibbs, who gave Brewster the lead in the bottom of the 4th with a solo shot. That's not a bad recipe.
1 out in the 9th. Swing and a miss by Tibbs. Carrion powers it past him. 1 for 3 with that home run. One of 2 Brewster hits tonight. 0-1. 1 out. Bottom 9. Firebirds up 3-2. The 0-1 is fouled away. Quickly 0-2 from Carrion, who's not messing around.
Working quickly, attacking the zone. Good pitch location, and he's got the velo.
Tibbs down 0-2. 1 out. Brewster chasing 1. The 0-2 was fouled away. Carrion took a little bit off, and Tibbs got a piece.
11 pitches for Carrion, 10 strikes. That's pretty crazy. And exactly what you want coming out of a bullpen to close this thing out.
Still 0-2. Carry on with the deep breath. Did he go on this one? He did. 2 straight strikeouts on check swings. Carry on doing his job in the 9th and then some.
Doing his job and then some. Tibbs could not believe it. He had his hands on his head as he stared down the third base line. A brutal end of this game if Carry On can get one more out for the Brewster Whitecaps.
Ike Irish is the batter. First pitch swinging, lifts it into left. Micheletti's got a beat on it, and he makes the catch. Firebirds win 3-2 in Brewster. Denny Carry On goes 1, 2, 3 in the 9th to close it out. Firebirds are back to their winning ways and go to 3-0 against the Whitecaps early in this 2023 summer.
A quiet, quick first half of this game, but over the final 5 innings, Orleans dominated, finishing with 11 hits, limited to just 3 runs, and the bullpen, which did the Birds in last night on the road against Catuit, looked dominant per usual. Derek Clark looked awesome. Sam Leboki got himself in trouble and worked out of it, only giving up 1 run. And then Danny Carry On, after a bit of a shaky outing against YD on Sunday, just, you said it, either high up in the zone with the mid-90s fastball or breaking low of the zone and getting swing and miss. 2 huge calls from the infield umpires on check swings of both Trevor Warner and James Tibbs that ultimately ended up being strike 3 for both guys. It is what it is. Some things don't break your way, and on a wonky day, Orleans improves to 3-0 on the year against Brewster. 2-0 here from Stony Brook.
Winning on the road, winning at home, doesn't matter. Against the Whitecaps, they're 3-0. 3-2, the final score as we start our cooling down post-game show between Ian Nicholas and myself, Dylan Pescatore. A 1-run game, which the Firebirds come out on the winning side of, and it's big. I mean, you had that top of the 8th where they score 2, and then Brewster had every chance in the world to come back. Bases loaded with nobody outs in the bottom of the 8th, and Sam Leboki powered up to get through it with only allowing 1 run.
He did, and big shout out to him because Leboki was an unbelievable reliever over his first 2 seasons with Vanderbilt, and to be doing that in the SEC means you're special. Underwent Tommy John surgery, missed over 600 days of baseball, a surgery that can derail a career, and it's derailed plenty of careers over the years. Came back for his senior season with the Commodores and was fantastic out of a bullpen, getting an opportunity to showcase his stuff here once again on a big stage. Plunks 2 guys, pitching through the rain, but the Brewster offense has been in a bit of a funk as of late, and he's able to take advantage of that, got a lot of weak contact, got a strikeout, got out of there giving up just 1 run and protected the lead.
The Firebirds moved to 7-8 on the season. Jack Penny will have to give his player of the game helmet. Maybe he'll keep it. I think maybe he should after another 2 RBI performance. We'll see who gets it. We're going to try to get a player here on the post-game show. Our main man, Jasper, our graphic designer, is going to get him. But 3-2 the final. Another low-scoring game, Ian, where the pitching was fantastic.
Orleans has relied on its pitching all year long. In these 3 wins against Brewster, I know everybody is going to gravitate towards the 13-2 dominant win last Thursday, but in 2 of these wins, Brewster has scored a combined 4 runs, and the pitching has taken shape.
It went from Gartland with 5 innings, 1 run, 2 hits allowed, and then the last 4 innings, the Firebirds did not allow a hit. Derek Clark for 2 innings, Oboki for 1, and then Carry On in the 9th. 5 Ks, no hits, a walk, and 2 hit-by pitches. And now we're going to bring on our player for the cooling down postgame show, Matt Holbeck.
Yeah, we got Matt here. So great to have him back in the lineup, doing what he does. Matt, what a wild game weather-wise. You ever been a part of something like this?
I have not. Honestly, when it was like 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock, it was raining pretty hard. I was like, we're not going to play. And then, Coach said it looks good to play, so we went out here and got a win. It was good.
Got Matt Hall back here on Cooling Down. What also looked pretty good was your triple. What an interesting play there. You were racing. A really big hit for you. Back-to-back nights with an extra base hit. What's working right now?
I mean, just see ball, hit ball right now. You know, just sticking with what I do best and staying to the middle and managed to put in the gap. It was good.
How good does it feel to be back out here? Because I know you played a couple games, drove in a couple runs, battled through some stuff early on in this summer season. How did that time away feel, and how does it feel to finally be out here doing what you do?
Yeah, it definitely sucked. Taking a little bit of time off, especially so early in the summer. I was excited to get out here and then getting hurt. But I just, stayed positive through it. I knew I was going to get back out here and do what I do. So it feels good to be back. It's really fun to be back.
And to pick up a win like this after a night where the offense was a little bit dormant yesterday at Katsuit, only 3 runs tonight but 11 hits. What was better tonight than last night?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we had the same approach as last night. I feel like the pitch was a little better last night, and we just got good swings off and stuck with what we did good, and it worked out today.
Cooling down with Matt Hallback. Isn't it cool to see so many guys from the Big West on this team? I mean, you played with Joe last summer. He plays at UC Irvine, UC San Diego, Danny Carrion, UC Davis, all the UC schools repping and balling for the Firebirds. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's fun to have people that you play in conference and then see how they do out here too. It really shows you the competition. It's cool. It's cool to be with guys you play in the conference too.
What makes Carrion so shut down?
He's got a good fastball and a good curveball. I mean, same thing that happened to Davis. He shut it down with those 2 pitches, and it plays out here too.
It certainly plays out here, and things are working for you right now too. What are you most excited to do the rest of this summer with this team?
Just keep winning. Keep winning. I hope we can pick it up and find our way into playoffs. That'd be sick.
Birds, 7th win on the season. Matt Hallback, back-to-back nights with a big hit and a triple tonight. Matt, thanks so much for joining us on Cooling Down.
Thank you for having me.
A big win for the Birds. 7 wins on the summer. 3 of them have come against the Brewster Whitecaps. And Dylan, Matt Hallback, who missed some time with a lower back injury, showing that the Big West has big power with a double last night, the triple tonight.
That's right, some extra base knocks, and that double in the 9th inning that maybe didn't mean anything for the Katsuit game means big today. And he hit it right where the place that Turner couldn't make the catch, which is a shock considering how great he is at defense. Hit it in the perfect spot, got past him. Andy Blake came around to score, and then Jack Penny does what Jack Penny does, comes up big with runners in scoring position.
Jack Penny has, ever since the first week of the season, been one of the more consistent bats in this lineup. He's always played good defense along the left side of the infield. But things are starting to work for Penny, a player who is getting a lot of attention right now after 2 solid seasons at Notre Dame, fitting in perfectly in the middle of this order. I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in the top of the order soon because he's getting it done, whether it was a long ball on Sunday against YD or putting one through the 4-3 hole today to churn the offense and keep things going in the middle of the game for Orleans. He just keeps moving along, keeps finding ways to reach, and the approach is just there right now for him. The shoulder doesn't seem to be affecting his timing anymore.
No, and he's not only having singles that mean big, but also big extra base hits like Matt Hallback, who we said he was coming off a little bit of a minor injury here too. So back in his 2nd game back, and he seems like he's firing on all cylinders. 3-2 the final. Orleans takes this one. They move to 7-8 on the season. Big win over Brewster, who sat 3rd in the division before today. Orleans was 4th. But, Ian, before we go, we got to pay the bills.
Yes, we do. Brewster and Orleans now tied at 3rd in the East Division with exactly 14 points each.
Firebirds with the tiebreaker as well.
With the tiebreaker, albeit maybe
it's
not
early.
Yeah, we're not even in July yet. But, look, that may come into play later in the year. Look, you're up 3-0 in the series. It's a 6-game series, one more, and you've got that tiebreaker officially. It's pretty crazy to say, and we're not even done with June. Anyways, closing up shop here on Cooling Down, Birds Broadcast Network. 3-2 win for Orleans over Brewster today. We want to thank our post-game sponsor, Mazzio Construction. Mazzio Construction LLC worked hard to build a resume for itself. Let them put their knowledge, experience, and passion together to work for you. Their team is committed to exceed your expectations. New home, addition to existing home, renovation, they handle it all. They work close with their clients to make sure that all your needs are met. They're honest, on time, with the schedule, and passionate about what they do. Give them a call. Let them introduce you to their work and see how they can help you. Mazzio Construction, LLC, the official post-game sponsor of Cooling Down here on the Birds Broadcast Network.
Before we go, we got another game tomorrow. Every day, new game. Hopefully the rain stays away even more tomorrow. Back home at Eldridge against Falmouth. As of now, 10th out of 10th in terms of their record. 3-10-2 coming into today. They'll be 3-10-2 going into tomorrow, as we were the only game in town in terms of the Cape League. So Falmouth comes into town 6:30 tomorrow, Eldridge Park. Video stream, 6:15 pregame. We'll be back. We'll be ready for you on the Birds Broadcast Network. Thanks for listening in, and everyone have a great night.